Hello and welcome to Trucking Answers. It is Monday, 1 p.m. and we are here with some trucking talk. With everything that's going on, there should be plenty to talk about, and I welcome everybody. Wild Bill was first Friday. Rhino was first today on my screen. And of course, it's Roller Wiener Monday, so get out your wieners and let's have a good show. All right, so we do this every week. Hey, you know, they're giving out masks at some of the scales and stuff. Yeah, that's correct. Apparently about 800,000 of them. There's a big protest, 10 miles an hour on the interstate. What do you think about that? Is that a great idea? Will that help any cause that anybody is thinking about? Oh, I got some rates, and they're just wonderful. And should you know what the broker makes? There's been a lot of talk about that. I know there's not a lot of owner-operators, but I think it's an important thing, especially for company drivers as well. Should you know what the company makes on the load? It goes the same thing. Who's hiring? If your company is hiring, especially people with no experience, but if they're hiring even with experience, I'd like to know about it. Let's talk about it so that people can get a job if they need one. Not everybody wants to sit at home and hope unemployment eventually pays them. So that is the story here today, and we're going to move this over here. Okay, so I can see that. All right, so here we go today, and my screen is up. For new people, I'm not good at this, so I lose my spot a lot. So welcome today to Jeffrey Herring. Thank you for being here. Rhino is here, of course, first. Wild Bill is here today. We have George Wilson here today. Misty, hello, what's going on? Kim English. Yeah, I saw that squirrel. Okay, so there we go. Red Monkey Trucking is here. It's sunny out today. I'm just letting you know. George Wilson. Hello, James Faust. It's good to see you. Kenneth P. So Together Both. Hello there. That's a new name on here. Charlie Glover. Everybody's welcome, of course. Craig Cole, hello from Pennsylvania. Fleet Nav Systems is here today, but they have a meeting. Oh, aren't meetings wonderful? That's just great. So good. We'll see you later today. Thank you for letting us know that. Anyway, Eddie McFadden, hello there today. Mark is here first. You were first on Saturday. Wildbo was first on Friday. On the thing that I saw, Kelly Patterson, hello. And as I go down here, DA, hello there. Aviator Trucker. Hey, what's going on? A lot of people here today, so that's great. So, Chris76, yeah, clerks, they do need to handle wieners with care. You don't want to bruise them or damage them in any way. Get a weird bend in them if you crack them. So, okay, Wayne, what's happening? Dave Johnson, at least you're on time. I was trying to be on time today, Luke. The music is from YouTube. I'll have to look up the name of it, so I don't remember the name of it there. Of course, it's free to use. No copyright required on it, so there you go, for YouTube's purposes. Chicken Hauler, hello from Alabama, what's happening? Are there any chickens to be hauled? I heard they're just killing 2 million of them because they can't get them moved around. I heard that on the news today. That's not great. Canadian Tanker Yanker, hello there. Big Huge Mike, hey, you're awake today. It's good to see you, Alexandra. Oh, another awesome quote. Thank you. Yeah, I like that quote. So, very appropriate as to what's going on here because like Logansport, which is about an hour from Lafayette here, had a big outbreak at the meatpacking plant. And so, of course, because it's confined to one plant, the mayor of Logansport basically closed the whole town off. Yeah, only so many people in a store. You have to go with a mask. No one under 16 outside or in stores. Can only go in stores by yourself. Yeah, of course. So there you go, Alan. Danny Herman is hiring when someone quits or retires. Oh, well, we never know when that's going to be like. Matt, oh, you like it? Sometimes it can, some people like it that way, so that's okay too. Hey, it's 2020. Ralph, good afternoon. The cat is doing good. She is, I don't know where she went off to today. I'm sure she's sleeping somewhere. I just filled the bird feeder yesterday, so there have been a lot of cardinals out around that. She's enjoying that. Christopher, Sarah England is forcing teaming. Yes, an astute viewer wrote that to me, and I have their Qualcomm message. They have forced teaming there, so that's not great. That's not a good way to keep drivers, but maybe they don't want to keep drivers. Because if you quit, you don't get unemployment. And England can say, well, look, we have work for these drivers. They're quitting. So I don't know how that might work. Gear Jammer, the broker said the receiver would remove the seal. Yeah, that's what they always say. Are we going to see an upcoming roller wiener shortage? It looks like there is a possibility of roller wiener shortage. Can't get your meat anywhere. So, you know, what are we going to do about that? That's not going to be great. And the other thing, how are we going to get dessert, right? How you can't have your pudding if you don't eat your meat. So that's another problem, right? Because, I mean, they already talked about it. Still getting over 3,200 miles, Steel Horse. That's awesome. That's awesome. There's not that many people left doing that right now. Mike is averaging $1.62 a mile running reefer loads. Salt Lake City to the northwest, not great. That's much better than I'm seeing. I have a rate here, Seattle to Los Angeles at 98 cents. That's from DAT Load Board. That's their average load on that route. Holy mackerel. Hello from Florida, William. So, free to ask, first to ask where you work, Jimmy. Yes, for new people to the show, I looked at the clock again. It's always weird. But I don't ever say where I work. That keeps them out of my videos. And then you can basically say what you want. Your company doesn't get to say, oh, well, you're talking whatever, So I keep them out of there. And also don't recruit for them. Have you seen all the drivers recruiting now on YouTube? I love it. You can tell the drivers aren't getting any miles. They're like, oh, I forgot to tell you how great my company is. Use my number here. So I just love that. So I don't do any recruiting for the company either. Let them do that for themselves, right? Does anyone take a driver with a drug violation? Yeah, I would call Western Express. That's not going to be a great place to work. I will say that. But they might take you. They'd be the ones I would send you to if you had a drug violation. Especially the more recent it is, the more likely they might take you there. Maybe. That's the first place I would call. But don't expect to get treated well. And don't expect to make a lot of money. Claxon Chicken in Georgia seems to be going steady. Still seeing the trucks drive 90 down the back roads. Well, they probably do that, right? Anyway, I don't know why people are speeding up to get somewhere, especially an owner-operator, when there's no more freight out of there or wherever they're going. Costco fleet hiring 3 years experience, paid for everything by the hour. Eddie, who's the Costco fleet? Do they have their own fleet of trucks? Like a private carrier? I didn't know Costco had their own fleet. And where would somebody find out about their own Costco fleet of trucks like that? Interesting. My broker specializes in steel loads. He steals from all the loads. Well, that's the thing. Should you know what the broker makes? I don't know about that. Wild Bill. Oh, I don't know about beating it, just to be gentle there. James Faust. 1985 rates, maybe. But what the broker makes, in my opinion, isn't any of the end user, which would be the business owner at that point, any of their business. And they don't like when I say that, but when you buy anything else, you don't get to know what the person makes on it. And as a company driver, you don't get to go to your company and go, oh, you're paying 50 cents or 70 cents, whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. How much do you make on this load? Okay, it isn't any of your business what the company makes on the load. What matters is how much you're going to make on the load, like this 98 cents a mile load. Here that DAT is seen on the load board. Is that enough money to run? If not, don't take it. Okay, it doesn't matter if somebody else makes $4 on it. What matters is this enough money for you to work? 98 cents or whatever it is you're making. That's what matters in any kind of contract. All that matters, what are you going to get for the work that they're asking you to do? That's it. That's how I see it anyway in business. And a lot of people say, well, Mark, you don't own a truck. I don't have to own a truck to understand the rates are down because there's tons of trucks and no freight. Okay, and I love this. There's people calling for strikes and protests. And this protest in California, 10 miles an hour down the interstate. Number one, everybody should have been arrested. Okay, there's no reason for that. If somebody got killed in that or something, that's ridiculous. Okay, that's no way to protest. But even so, these protests, 9% of drivers are owner-operators. That's according to the most figures I could find. But DAT is showing 32.5% of reduction in loads. So let's say every owner-operator got together and they go, all right, we're going to not drive. What good is that going to do? There's still 20% too many loads. So right now, you don't have the leverage that you would have had maybe even a month ago, 6 weeks ago. You don't have any leverage. There's not enough loads to go around as it is. If every one of them parked, wouldn't make any difference. Wouldn't make any difference. Acceleration rules, there's no police out. Good. That's great. I see them on live PD. I like watching on the weekends. Make you sign a contract to work for them for a year, pay back $7,500. Who is that? Who might that be? Alexander hauling dessert, 42,000 pounds of ice cream. Yeah, but you can't get it, right? You can't have your pudding unless you eat your meat. So how can you have your pudding if you don't eat your meat? I've never seen a Costco truck. I've never seen the truck. Certainly a Costco truck. You're listing on your blue Parrot. That's the only way to do it is by wearing a parrot. There we go. If you wear it, make it a parrot. They're going to fire me as a spokesman. Not like they've ever hired me. But so there we go. Blue Parrot. Always wear a blue Parrot if you want to be able to hear what you're trying to hear, right? Hey, Mark. How are you, Irishman? How are you? I'm doing great. Look at the clock so you can tell us where you work. Yeah, I know. I don't know why I look at the clock when people say that. I always look down at the clock there in the corner of this 5.5-year-old Dell. Dude, you got a Dell. You don't sign a contract at no job at Western Express. Okay, yeah. That's a lot of these places. When you go in, it's contract. I agree. But if you have a drug conviction, you're probably going to have to stay there a year anyway. You're not going to be able to go anywhere else. So it's not going to matter. That contract won't matter. You're going to have a tough time without a year in to be able to get another job anyway. So, and it's going to be a rough year. Believe me. Your screen should have the disclaimer mark. Does it say where he works? Don't ask. The king of disclaimers, Fleet Nav Systems. Okay, so we'll ask them about that later. Costco doesn't have a fleet. I've never seen a Costco truck. That's why I'm asking. How do you work at a Costco fleet? Maybe it's with some other company. Slick Rick, to all truck drivers, be safe. One trucker friend died 2 weeks ago and ICU didn't make it. Yeah, that is horrible. And I'm sorry about that. I'm very sorry about that. And I would encourage everybody, no matter what, to don't not be afraid of dying, but be afraid of not living your whole life. Don't be afraid, I'm going to die, I'm going to die. No, be afraid, I didn't live today. So that's Motivation Monday right there, okay? Live your life each day. Costco trucks here use Ruan. Okay, so you can hire on at Ruan, which that's the milk company up here about 50 miles north of me in Fair Oaks, Indiana. Ruan, they forever run ads up there to run milk. So that would be a good place to get on. Don't need brokers. Need one national load board. I always wondered why, and a couple people wrote to me about this. Why don't shippers post the loads themselves? And I guess it'd be easier to just consolidate the load somewhere. But a national load board, yeah, let's get that started. And here's the thing, though. Think about this. Okay, so there's a national load board. There's no brokers. And the load is $1,900, and you get it for $1,500 because the broker takes or steals, whatever, $400. They're just going to post a load for $1,500 because the shipper is going to want to save that money. I think if the brokers were eliminated, I don't think the loads would go up in price per rate or anything like that. I think you would just make the same money without a broker. And the person that would save would be the shipper. What about a person with a felony, Christopher? Same thing. Western, unfortunately. Depends where it is. Call a couple places first, even the drug conviction, right? And see what they say. And see what they say. And if they're like, no, forget it, then yeah, Western Express is the place they might hire you. Even they have standards. So like if it was like, oh, I just got out yesterday, or I'm waiting in front of the gates, they just let me out, for a ride, then I don't know about that. But they would be the place to do it. Aviator, trucker, it doesn't matter what the broker makes. What matters is what the broker pays, especially when you don't receive your money. Or BS excuses to dock part. No, I agree with that. Okay, that's the other thing. I agree with that. If you do a job, a contract, right, owner-operator, for a rate of pay, or even a company driver, at a certain amount, this load pays $1,000 and you take it, you ought to get $1,000. No question about it. That's all the government should be involved in, though. You should be able to go to them and say, hey, make them pay me the money we agreed to. I totally agree with that. But people can't take a rate and then gripe about the rate and say, oh, well, I should get more. You should get what you agreed to get. That's what you should get. Even the same with drivers that don't make much money. I'd like to see them quit and go make more money, but you can't take a job and then say it doesn't pay me. You can always work somewhere else. It'd be the same for an owner-operator. It's freedom. Just like George Michael said, anyone that cuts off 75 at Corbin and takes 63 to get to Knoxville, they started construction, the cops are out. Oh, great. Well, they got nothing else to do. Everybody's at home, right? And they can't get a haircut anywhere. Yikes. Did any of you do braids at home, too? I'm about to put an ad out to get somebody to come and do that. Okay, EHE Foods in Romeoville is hiring Class A drivers for warehouse. Oh, those are home every day, too. That might not be a bad job. Romeoville is outside Chicago. Future trucking isn't looking good. And, it's coming back. The DMV is closed. Yeah, they're closed here, too. Can't, my license designation switched. Things are crazy. No one's hiring. Yeah, I've heard about that, too. And they're closed here, too, in Indiana. So plates, I do always do them by the mail, but the license, that's a problem. Renewing the license, that kind of stuff is a problem. Changing it over, yeah. Believe me, once everybody opens back up, which looks like May, people are going to start to get out there. Did you see the beaches in California? Oh, my gosh, they were full over the weekend. Schuster's hiring if you have 6 months. New trucks, right, 3,000 miles, and no forced teaming. Good. Companies should start posting that, no forced teaming. That was the most ridiculous Qualcomm message I've seen. Expect to have a partner. I would have sent back, expect me to quit at that day. I mean, come on. Forced teaming. Who thought about that? Our end users would really like to be with other end users. It was that same woman. I can't think of her name right now. This is Aviator Trucker. This is the worst time to be an owner-operator or lease operator. It's always a bad time if you're leasing from the company. Does anybody know what the current fuel surcharge is? Low. It's like 2 cents now because you always under $2. It's usually this way, right? It's usually 6 or 6.5 or 7 miles to the gallon at $1.25. So every 6 or 7 cents it goes up from there, it's another penny. That's usually how I've seen them written out. So at 2 would be 75 cents. You'd get like 8 cents to 10 cents a gallon. 11 cents a gallon right there. So not great. The lower the fuel rate goes, the worse off you are if you have a truck that gets good mileage. What brokers make is nobody's business. It's capitalism. Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't matter when you go to Best Buy and buy a TV, do you grill Best Buy? What did you guys pay for this TV? This I'm buying for $218. How much did you pay for that? No. When you don't get to know what the broker makes. If you don't like the rate, don't take it. If the load sat there, because it's low, 60 cents or something, the rate would have to go up. There'd be no way to move it. Somebody's moving it at the rates that are out there. Remember that. When you sit and wait 3 days for a higher paying load, somebody's moving that freight. These guys don't even know what they're striking about. I don't know if that'll ever get enough together, but there's not enough of them now to make a difference. There's no loads. What's a good company for a student that wants a team? Well, you can always call Covenant. How about that? Western Express for their refresher course if you don't have enough current experience. Western is not. I only send people to Western that have felonies or drug convictions or something like that to get you back in the industry. That'd be like one of my last choices of places to go. The pay there is really so low. It's just incredibly low. Andrew, thanks for providing us trucking answers. I appreciate that. I appreciate everybody being here today. That's my number over there. Oh, yeah. Yikes. 186 people. That is just incredible to me. Keep an eye on the clock for those commercial breaks. Oh, right. Now we go to commercial. Costco in West Palm Beach, Florida has their own day cab fleet. All right. So do some Costcos run their own trucks? I mean, a lot of them use these third parties like Ruan and stuff like that. But maybe if you can get on a Costco private fleet, that wouldn't be bad. Especially in Florida. There's no jobs out there. Run your truck on the ground for $1 a mile. I don't know how anybody makes money at 98 cents as an owner-operator. I just don't. It just seems like it's impossible. For Seattle to Los Angeles, the only people that are going to take that are going to be England or whatever, because say they make a penny. They don't care. Even if it just pays them to go down there, that's all they need to do. And they'll be the ones that do this. So the rates go up and you have no truck. Let the other drivers run their trucks on the ground. But it's going to be a large company. That's the only people that are going to be able to survive at $1 a mile. Maybe Western Express, they pay their Western fleet drivers 27 cents. Misty, Costco trucks delivered from DC to stores, requires driver unloads. Depends what it pays then, right? And working's not a bad thing, certainly. It's illegal. They can't do it. I already talked to a lawyer. They wouldn't even provide a bus home when contract was refused. They're not. Well, I did look into the bus thing, which I was disappointed that companies, when they fire you or whatever, they just tell you to hit the road. But unfortunately, the company doesn't have to provide you a way home. So that's disappointing to me. I think a company, if they bring you into their place, then they should send you back to wherever they got you from. But unfortunately, that's not the law. People don't understand business, that nobody should make that money from their efforts except them. I know when the rates were up 3 weeks ago, getting $4, did owner-operators turn that money down and go, wait a minute, $2.25 is plenty on this. I don't want to take too much money in this. No. Okay. So now when somebody else makes money, they don't like it. So I'm just not a fan of it. It's free market, right? That's what somebody wrote to me. Oh, you're going to talk about business? Look, it's the free market. There's too many loads, and there's all these trucks sitting around. For every 10 trucks, there's 5 loads, so it's not going to pay anything. Costco has a private fleet. Where is this fleet located? Michael, I got 30,000 Kellogg's. What does that mean? Afternoon, checking in from Wallace, Idaho. Preacher, it's good to see you from Potato Land. Costco has a distribution center in Houston. All right. You need dynamite to get the seal off. After a while, I would always get like a bolt cut or whatever. You'd almost have to carry that in the truck because for some reason you go to receivers and they don't have any way to open seals. Like they never have seen a seal. You go to the guard and he goes, oh, I don't have anything. I'm like, so you almost have to carry a small bolt cutter with you to get some of these seals off. And then you open it up and it's like, styrofoam packing peanuts. The whole load is worth like $45. The seal costs more than the load. Some depots have outside carriers, but most have their own fleet. All right, well, then maybe if you have a Costco distribution center around you, that might not be a bad deal. James, Fort Smith, Arkansas, eastbound scales giving free cloth face masks. Yeah, that's what I heard, that some scales are going to be giving PPE stuff to drivers at no cost. So if you can get a mask there, grab one wherever you go, because a lot of places you need to wear one inside. The Costco, DC, and Jersey has day cabs. Yikes. I'd rather just move. The repo man cometh. It will for some people that are, paying $1,000 a week, $1,200 a week. I think that's going to be a big problem for people. This is not the time to enter into a $1,200 a week deal on getting a truck. Certainly. Yikes, I'm way behind here. And I lost my spot. Okay, TMC is hiring. Maverick, I heard, is not hiring and not returning calls to anybody. So I should take calls. Yeah, I let Fleet Nav Systems handle that. Alexis, don't hire on at Ruan on the Clopay account. 100% hand unload of garage doors. How do you hand unload a garage door? Wow. All with someone on workers' comp. One of our guys spent 3 months in the hospital. That sounds like a total disaster. For loads to up, we need less people hauling for dirt cheap. Yeah, you need less trucks right now on the road. There's not nearly enough loads for the trucks on the road. So all these trucks are still here competing for very few loads, so the rates went down. Going 10 miles an hour on the interstate, that's ridiculous. That is totally ridiculous. Nobody's going to be expecting you going that slow. Long hair is cool. Yeah, I'm going to keep it braided. I'm just going to braid it like Willie Nelson style. We don't have Blue Parrot money, get a Road King honey. Oh, no, we don't do that. We always have Blue Parrot money because Blue Parrots, they don't cost, they pay. Right? It isn't expensive. It's value driven at Blue Parrots. All right. How about that? Send email at company Costco private fleet. Okay, I'll check that out. Illinois is closed till May 31st. Looks like they're going to extend it again. Well, are we just going to stay in our house forever? I mean, that's a legitimate question because they're not going to have a vaccine for a year. So do we just wait for a vaccine? Does everybody just go broke? Do they just give everybody $5,000 a month until then? I don't know what they're going to do. Stan looks like a hippie. I know, it's getting really bad out here. You walk around outside, and people used to give you money, because now everybody looks at you like you have leprosy. I've seen Costco day cabs in Seattle. Mullets. Yeah, we might do the mullet thing. The hippie look is cool. You pull it off good. Like I said, CR, I'm going to force you to do something at England. I would not be teaming there. 70s jumpsuits for the win. Oh, I could bust out my parachute pants. Forced teaming equals a 2-week notice. I'd say, you remember 2 weeks ago? That was my notice. I still haven't gotten your $1,200 stimulus money. Same here. Waiting for a check here, though, so don't know when that will come. Western Express, are they only flatbed? No, they have vans as well. I mean, mostly vans, too. I think the van part is bigger than any. New trucking company named Mullet Trucking. We stand behind you. All right. Because it's business. It's business in the front, really. Smith Transport is still hiring with a year required. That would be a good place to go off to. My wife and I got her $2,400. Thinks she's at home spending it on toilet paper. Oh, I got plenty of that here. She needs some. I'll come mail it off to her. You got your Trump check last Wednesday. Oh, a paper check. Now you get a cut of kickback from Western. You keep recommend when they're worse than Swift. I only recommend Western to people that don't have any other way. And I don't, by the way, for people that are new or whatever, no company pays me anything to say their name or anything else on here. I don't take any money from trucking companies. That was a choice of the channel here. I don't do commercials for them that are paid, nothing like that. So, and I think that keeps it more honest that way. If you don't like the rate of your freight, try negotiating directly with the shipper. See if you can get a better rate and cut out the middleman. Alexander, that's very good. And I know some owner-operators have written in and said, hey, you know what? I've got established, deals with a couple of shippers, and that's all they do. So you can always, you don't have to do on the load board and get a broker. You can go get your own freight and do it that way. And maybe say, look, we'll split the difference of this. You keep part of it and I'll keep the other part. I wouldn't team up with anyone who doesn't have 10 years experience. I don't know. Teaming with somebody you don't know, I mean, they're going to be matching you like crenglandonly.com, like farmersonly.com on there. I mean, no way am I doing that. I like what Dave from Smart Trucking calls leasing. Never plans. Yes, look, Smart Trucking, an excellent channel. That guy's super smart, and he's totally right about that. Leasing from a carrier, right? I would never lease from a carrier. Look, if they go down like this, you're stuck there. You can't take your truck anywhere else. Costco doesn't have any driver touch. All right, maybe you get free membership to Costco, too. That wouldn't be bad. Time to stay home if I can only get the stimulus money if I'm not working. Well, plus you can get unemployment too, right? And that's what I wanted to tell people too. Some people are writing and saying, look, my hours are cut in half or whatever. File unemployment. I looked into it, and from what it says on there, you can get partial unemployment if your hours have been cut due to corona. So it'd be worth, if you've been cut at all, file and see what happens. Western shouldn't be in business. They do pay really low. I wouldn't team up with anyone no matter what their experience. I refuse to smell other people. Well, hey, some people pay money, $3.99 for that. Fuel surcharge is 8 cents a mile, not 8 cents a gallon. Yeah, per mile. I meant per mile. If I said a gallon, I meant a mile. And that's about right then. So that's what I'm thinking. So what, 6.5 is what you're saying on the fuel surcharge there? Getting hosed at Trans Am at $1.04. Well, here's the thing about that. I don't know if people are getting hosed because they're upfront about that pay. It's not like it was foisted on people later. So you people agree to the pay. They really agree to it. So I don't know if you're being hosed. I think it's terrible pay, and I don't know how people make money to $1.04. I don't. I just don't understand. There's no way you make more than a company driver. No way. Not at $1.04 you don't. You love Trumpism. All right. Has anyone else noticed the hand sanitizer love smells like tequila? Oh, that's curious. Do you see the employees over by it often? I never give 2 weeks notice. Do company gives you 2 weeks notice? No. And what I've seen a lot of this, when people give notice, they get fired anyways. Or on the other side, they won't get back. I had that happen a number of times. A driver gave notice and they wouldn't get him back home. So that's pretty awesome. Someone stole the bolt cutter. Ironically, that's considered burglary tools. Willie, you're late. Welcome. I have bolt cutters, bringing them with me next trip. I know some of the seals are like titanium or something. My company has an account with Costco. All right. Can you just be on the Costco account there? Never understood how consignees never have bolt cutters for seals. I know it's like they get 100 of them in a day and they're like, oh, we don't have any way to open that. Don't you want your stuff? So I think drivers should just get a small one from Lowe's or whatever and carry it around themselves. Costco fleet are day cabs that run out of the depot. It's 13 depots, 9 of Costco's have their own fleets. Seems the highway patrols tripled their workforce, 1 every 5 miles. Well, yeah, they're trying to keep people inside, arresting people. Bolt cutters equals a master key, yes. On the road with Chaplin, I'm always surprised when I come across a driver that doesn't carry bolt cutters or some other tool. Happens quite often. Yeah, once you get your first one that you can't open, it seems like that driver's the one, then that's when you go buy bolt cutters and say, all right, I need bolt cutters now. There's no question about it. Gracie needs to get in on the action, of course, to see what's happening today. She got her cat food stimulus this weekend and every day as usual. And actually put myself back up there, which is unusual. Teaming isn't fun unless you know your partner. Everyone has different needs or shower requirements. Do you remember teaming with the coffin sleeper? No. That would really be something. I'm sure that was done a lot. But the only time I teamed was at BP, and that was a cab over, which was a big sleeper. It wasn't tall, but it was like a really big bed sleeper. And after a couple of weeks of that was it. And I said, I'm never doing this again. We hauled cased oil products like quartz and stuff like that. I carry enough tools that I could run my own truck repair service. Like it used to be, like I'd always hear drivers. Well, and back in the day, you could pull over and 15 drivers would stop and rebuild your truck for you in 15 minutes. Costco has a fleet of 792 trucks, and their headquarters is based out of Seattle. All right, well, that would be bad to get on a private carrier. Your dad had Spokane to Corona, California. 1,200 miles, no cheap freight in this truck. Doing it again tomorrow. Well, that's Leo's madness. Happy at your place of employment. If you're buying the fuel in that, is it better to go empty or to take 98 cents, which is what I'm seeing Seattle to L.A.? So that's a good question. I mean, would you rather get $1,100 for that or no dollars? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't own a truck. So isn't some money better than no money? Especially if you're going that way anyway. And I don't know where Corona is if it's by LA. It's okay to lose your spot in the chat. Just make sure it is level 1 driving. Yes. Vaccines kill a small percentage. They do. Vaccines do, but so does not having a vaccine. Everything could kill you. You just never know. Eastbound 10 heading to Memphis on my last day of training. Wow, let's see how good reefers loads at night are to new drivers. I'm very curious about that. Let me know how night keeps you rolling there with reefer, because that's not their main business. Al Johns, they're going to notice when you haven't been there in 2 weeks. Right, I'm going to get a corner in Winslow, Arizona. Going to sell this flu. Just took my first trip on I-69 southwest of Indy. Man, you're right. What a wasteland. Nowhere to park. Okay, so here's the thing. 69, which is going to be built all the way from the bypass, 465, to Evansville. It's made from Bloomington now to Evansville. There's no parking. There's one small truck stop at 231 that can park 8 trucks, maybe 7 trucks. That's it. They didn't build one rest area on this. It's just ridiculous. I was power only for Smith. Their trailers are shot. The government shut down everything because of boomer coughed. Obviously, communism is the answer. George Costanza, exactly. Some people died, and so everybody has to stay at home. Imperial Sink, you're late. Hi. Oh, yikes. Demerits at this time. I talked to a girl at Wiener making 33 cents. Had to go home to Florida. They made her slip seat. Wow. So I did see that some companies now are saying if you want to do that, you're going to have to slip seat. And that encourages you to stay out. I would say, hey, Werner, how are you sanitizing the truck that you're about to give me? Do I know anything about Balkan out of Fort Worth, Texas? No, but if that's the Balkan oil fields, yikes. They're paying people to take the oil now. Why am I on timeout? I don't know. I'm seeing you right here, so I still want the crap of the week back. Yeah, I don't know how that will ever work. I haven't gotten my 1200. When will I get it? I don't know. I haven't gotten it either. So if you're waiting for a paper check, it could be as late as, August they were saying? Pens? I haven't gotten it either, so don't feel bad about that. Cassius King Trucking Star, I'm late, is arguing with a trucker at Love's for peeing on the toilet seat. I made a video calling him out. Yikes. Why were you in the stall with him? That's my question. The better question, why you weren't social distancing if you're both in the stall. But hey, no judging. It's now a good time to become a truck driver. I was going to say something about, it left me already. Always a good time. I mean, go to truck school now if they're open. And by the time you get ready to go out on your own, it'll be picking back up. It's going to pick up. People still have to eat and get stuff. I mean, there's a big backup of people. They're about to get all this money. They're going to start renting rims and, all that stuff, buying TVs at Walmart. All that's going to happen. 68 and sunny in Macon. That's awesome. Hazard pay. It's going to be like 60 here today. Hazardous pay for truckers from Fed since unemployment is $600 a week bonus. But what about not all drivers are doing that kind of thing, right? Some are just doing regular stuff. I don't know. Always a good time to transform. That's what I was trying to think of, transformers. Philip, any advice on a company want to counsel me for hard braking when I got cut off? Counsel you. Oh, I love it. Why don't you, do they have you lay on a booth, on a couch too? Lay down. Tell me, why do you feel it was right? Yeah, you're just going to have to take it because that's what they do. Eventually, if you get a couple more of them, they'll fire you. So there's nothing else to do other than just agree with them, and that's it, because there's nothing you can do. Even if you disagree, that still goes in your record the same way I might disagree with it just to be disagreeable. But either way, they're just going to eventually fire you for it. Are we do you have a dash cam? That might be a good thing to do. Get a dash cam so you can prove what happened. Highway freak, I'm near Mississippi, Memphis. Pretty outside, there'll be pistol. They're always down there. Force team is the same as camera companies. They become flyover companies. Well, but the thing is, people go in England and then they're very aggressive at England about enforcing the contract that new drivers have. They send out messages all the time. I know this because many of you send them to me, that they're very aggressive about it. And so you're kind of scared that you're going to have this huge bill and they're not going to let you work anywhere. It's a problem. As a Costco employee, you get 4 free memberships. Okay, that's not bad. So you can go in there. The only problem would be there's no Costco here in Lafayette. So that's a real problem. Going to get a corner in Winslow, Arizona, selling this stuff. You have Kung Flu. Right. There's a lot of different flus going around. What's the difference between an owner-operator and owner-operator for an existing company? Well, some owner-operators have their own name on the side. They get book their own loads and everything, and you can also lease your truck on to a company, and then they give you loads. And sometimes when you lease on, you can also find your own loads. And sometimes you're lease purchase, in which you don't have any say in anything. The hand sanitizer at Love's does not taste like tequila. At least that's what a friend told me. I saw that video too. Hey, guess your mask isn't working at Walmart. I love that. I left the other part out. The safest place in a firefight with civilians is in front of them, no doubt. Going for a run and workout, Mark is my workout playlist today. Misty, all right. That sounds great. Be sure to be, what did they say? I just read this. Funny, you're talking about a run. 65 feet if you're running, because apparently you have some kind of cloud of corona behind you. I thought it was pretty funny. You're supposed to stay 65 feet away. Sitting at a light while a funeral goes by. That's not great. Hopefully it wasn't anybody that we know. George Costanza, thank you very much. Driver rule number 1, all drivers are full of crap. Between a driver and a puppy is the puppy eventually stops whining. Drivers whine. That's true. Sometimes for good reason and sometimes not. I always kept bolt cutters and cable cutters with me. You almost need to, because some of these seals are, I don't know who makes them. They're never to be broken into. For me, the brokers don't force anyone to run that cheap freight. Park the old FLD 120s. They're the only ones that can afford it. Cancel the insurance, take a vacation back to the home country. Yes. Some of them are from another place. Look, right now, there needs to be less trucks on the road if you expect the rates to go up. Owner-operators, it's funny because they don't like the government, but right now they're like, oh, there should be a minimum amount that we make because, we have to make money. No. If you own the truck, you don't have to make money. That's the idea of owning a business, is you can lose money. You can lose all the money and go broke. You can. Now, this is of a government doing. I get that. This isn't just the market. But the government can't mandate a company pay you a certain amount of money other than like a minimum wage. You're not an employee. You're in business for yourself. I think it's a real problem. Is it time for a cat break? Yeah. What about Bridget? She hasn't been on the show for a while. Remember Bridget? Oh, we still like Bridget. Good afternoon, Mark. Good afternoon, Kenworth Writers. Good to see you here. Bolt cutters are a nice thing to have, but not necessary. Good pair of wire cutters for those wire seals is something you need. Yeah, I like to get out a plasma cutter. Also, I go, I'll get these open for you. Not your wife, though. She has excellent marksmanship. Super proud of her. That's good. I'll remember that if I ever swing by your house at night. Well, Shante, hi in Laredo, Texas. Mandatory mask up to $1,200 fine. I know. Anytime you're outside, it said, not just going into stores, like up here in Logansport. Do I have a mystery truck of the week? I do, and I don't know if you're going to get these. How about that? So let's start out with this. There you go. How about that truck? Year, make, and model of that truck. I had no idea. Okay, so I'm not saying, I knew that right away. I had no idea until I read what it was. So there you go. Mystery truck right there. See if anybody gets that truck. Does anyone know TA is going to have great improvement with the new CEO? Probably not. They'll probably raise parking even more. Day cab distance from pedals to rear wall seems to be shorter than a sleeper truck. Yeah, absolutely. You can't move the seat as far back. I agree with you. Alexandra, the only way I would ever team if I chose your own partner and shared a studio sleeper. I wouldn't team for anything less than 60 cents. So you can get more than that teaming. I will say that. But yeah, you should. And I cannot imagine them just saying, by the way, come back to terminal and here's your new partner. I mean, that's not going to work out good. It should be somebody you know. You could have different tastes in music like you and me, right? I'd be blasting Neil Diamond in there. You know what I'm saying? You might not like that all the time. But hey, Sweet Caroline's it's got to come out. Not if you're losing money. All that extra wear and tear on the truck is bad. So, okay, so that's interesting. So it's better off, are you saying, to go empty down there than make $1,100 to go down there? And I'm curious about that on that same run. You're better off just running empty all the way to LA, which would cost you, $400 or whatever, plus your time, which costs you money as well. People don't realize, the time value of your actual time. That's the thing you have the least amount of. They have to sell for the most money. That's why I encourage people not to make more money, but to make more for the time that they put in. Just make more per hour, not make more a week by working more. Don't work more, make more. Much better off making more. Are you seeing a slowdown of freight at your company? Yes. It's super slow and getting slower. Good morning from Sacramento. Tea and Earl is the cleanest I've ever seen it. It smells like pee. Well, but that's still not bad, right? At a TA. Your cat or dog could kill you in their sleep if they wanted. Yeah, but then they wouldn't get fed the next day. Wonder if carrying a load of baby chickens considered as cheap freight aviator trucker. Ugh. Love your channel. Well, I have 40 years in the trucking industry. Wow. And sit looking for work here in Canada, but not working for peanuts. Thanks for the upfront no BS videos to help drivers. Well, you're welcome. And thanks for 40 years. That's really something. 40 years. And right now, it's slow all over, and it's probably slow up there too. By the way, as I always have to ask, how much is gas up there where you are? And you can give me a liter, I'll translate. Bill Gates behind COVID-19 to implement ID 2020 and vaccinations. All right. Conspiracy theory day. Balkan trucking is reefers. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. Well, just because the Balkan, I don't know anything about it. Trucker Beetle Bailey's here. Hey, what's going on? They hear it's good. How do hours of regulations stand for cement truck drivers? Well, if you would fall under the local rule, right, 100 air miles or whatever, you won't need hours of service or anything like that. Otherwise, I doubt that cement truck drivers, if you have to run a log, I don't think you're going to qualify as, emergency relief supplies, cement. I don't think so. Depends what your boss says, but I can't see cement being an emergency. Beta, what's up? Reporting from McAllen, Texas. Been working hard. Hope everyone's doing good. Love the show. Hey, thanks for being here. Nice weather for you today. I team with local delivery daily. How do you team with local daily deliveries? Had to run with a nasty guy for training purposes when I first hired. Never again. Yeah, it's gross, right? And it with somebody that they just give you, you have no idea. There's somebody like, I have showers are from, the government makes you shower and they put stuff in the water. You don't want that person. Okay, you don't want to do that. This hand sanitizer tastes like the tequila sunrise. Did you pick up the wrong bottle, Daniel? The heady trucker, if a company puts review required before rehire, you're under rehire eligibility. Is that as straightforward as it sounds, or is there more dubious intention? Review required before, that means they probably don't want to rehire you. And that's okay with me. I think any job you quit, you should just leave behind you because you left for a reason. Later you might forget it, but remember, you quit and just kind of leave that job behind you. Hunter Brown, how do you do this afternoon? Doing great. It's wonderful out here today. Aren't all the DMVs closed? As far as I know, they are. I think most states have them closed. Yep. Dale has not slowed down. That's good. Maybe not all DMVs. Are there states where a few of them are still open? They're mostly closed. Let's put it that way. They're all closed here in Indiana, Illinois, Michigan, she closed everything. You can't even go to your own house. I have a second house. Can't go to it. Together, both funniest thing I ever heard. Rent a rim. Too funny. The thing is, that's where that money's going. They're going to rent those rims. They got 30-inch rims for rent in Chicago. Yep. Here's people. I see people. When I used to live up there, I used to live on North Whipple, 1800 North Whipple. People would put $3,000 of rims on a $700 car. Okay, ridiculous. But all true. And you can go rent a rim. Type in rent a rim to your local search engine, like Ask Jeeves. I'll keep certain ones open for CDLs. That's good. Not all DMVs are closed. Only the part for CDL licensing is open. Always have a dash cam. Yeah, that dash cam could save you, but they could still write you up and say, well, you shouldn't have been braking hard there. So look forward to next month for my 10 days vacation, being paid 55 hours per week straight time, no overtime. Well, that's still something, I guess. Sorry you're late. Yeah. How would they handle this COVID-19 back in the 60s when no computers? They'd have to go to everybody's house and tell them to stay inside, which would take a lot longer. Or post it at the library. I was waiting in the Love's bathroom for a stall to open up. The guy walks out and I walk up and go in it, and he had peed on everything. Cash is King Trucking. Hey, whatever story you have on it, it's okay. It's 2020, so it's okay with me, right? Because of this, right? Because it's Roller Wiener Monday. Okay, so whatever you say on that is all right with me. Not that there's anything wrong with it. Is that what happens when you're courteous? Imagine how worse things could be of George if not for the complainers. That's true. Cops are the worst shooters and gun handlers I've seen. Some of them probably. There are dubious intentions. A few states are finally opening up. Yes, we're going to start opening up next month. Outside care comes to your place and expects that bolt cutters our receiving department gives them, but they're garbage. Drivers should have them. If you can ever run a load with those kind of seals, just have your own small set of bolt cutters. Roller wieners for everybody. You can use Penelope or Delilah for cat brakes if you want. Oh, okay, right. I will then. I can't get that set up today, but I will. A crowbar usually works if you carry a crowbar. A gear jammer. Wow, that is very impressive. 75 Dodge. That truck is a 75 Dodge. Just joining you, you make Mondays fun. Kevin, thank you very much, Kevin. You make Mondays double fun. Wow, it's a Christina 82. Everybody's getting Dodge. Well, I was the one off on this one. Dan looks like a GMC. No, it's a Dodge with a sleeper. That's true. And this truck, let's go back to this, is a 75 Dodge Bighorn. Okay. It was only made for a few years. It made 261 of them. And there's about 100 left, they think, 115 left. I've never seen one in person. I didn't realize Dodge made trucks this big. But, yeah, they made full-size trucks back in the 70s, 73, 74, 75, apparently. And that's a Dodge Bighorn, and that one's on its last legs. Only 261 made. How about that? Dodge Bighorn. Sweet Caroline was written about Caroline Kennedy. I just like the song and know all the words for karaoke. If I was to buy a truck, it would be a Marmon. Are you going to put a Marmon on the road? Yikes. How's it ever better to be working for nothing? That's what I'm trying to figure out on this. To drive from Seattle to Los Angeles free, you're going to lose money. $400, fuel, wear and tear. Still, the truck has to drive. What if you made $1,100? It would seem like to be offsetting some of that money if you're going down there anyway. Now, I'm not saying, I got to take that load. But if you're going to go to LA to get a load, why not take a load down there that doesn't pay that much? That's what I'm saying. Why isn't that right? Why am I wrong about that? George Wilson got a Dodge Bighorn. Holy mackerel. Everybody knows this truck. I've never seen one. Mark, you're talking about ripping out the stereo and replacing it with an 8-track. No, you get an under-dash unit and just wire it right in there. Alexander, I saw your comment about Neil Diamond. I have no idea who that is. Yikes. We'll have to put you through some Neil Diamond training. When I see you somewhere, I'll give you a Neil Diamond 8-track that you can listen to and get caught up. Time is the only thing that has real value. Everything else is found or made, which takes time and therefore only as valuable as the time. Wow. Cash is King Trucking with the line of the week. That is great. What do you think about what I'm saying here? If you're going to go Seattle to LA, it's paying 98 cents. But if you're going down there anyway, don't you take a load to at least offset some of your costs or not? Or am I wrong on that? Maybe I'm wrong on it. Is it better to just drive down there free? I'm waiting for COVID-19 to come out before I get it. Oh, that part 2 is going to be next year. Guess the cement truck regulations are pretty concrete. Ugh. Freight is picking up at Martin and it's long miles too. Good. For a while that Martin went to a lot of intermodal and I was kind of disappointed. I was watching and their miles went down and down, their average miles per load. Good evening, everyone. Darnell, long time no see. Keep them rolling and say no to cheap freight. But do you? That's exactly what I'm talking about. Do you? Wasn't there a time in trucking where you weren't allowed to run certain lanes unless you had a contract? Scared of Bigfoot? Yes. Before deregulation, to get on a lane, you had to prove that there was a need on that lane for a truck. Otherwise, you couldn't run that lane. Each lane was regulated, but that gave truck drivers an artificially high freight rate. The rate wasn't free market anymore. It was controlled by the government because people were limited in the amount that were on there. So that doesn't work. It's not the free market. That what we have now is the free market, which for some people is the problem, but that is how the market works. Extra wear and tear equals nonsense. I'm just saying, are you not better off picking up $1,100? I have to take urgent relief loads, but I still hate pooping at Loves, especially after somebody else is already in your stall. Bro calling sale bro fuel. Yeah, shouldn't you get at least some money if you're going there anyway? I'm not saying you have to take that load, but you're like, I'm going to run empty to LA. Well, here's a load for 98 cents a mile. Is that better? Isn't that better? I've not had a roller wiener in 2 months and dropped 25 pounds. That's disappointing. It's time to get back on the roller wiener bandwagon. Did the Romulans give the Klingons disruptor technology? I'm not exactly sure. I thought the Klingons came up with that because Romulans basically use plasma technology. So, never had a bolt cutter. I used to have a battery-powered grinder. Get those meat load bolts off. That'd be something too. Come on, I got a grinder. I'll get this off of here. Roger Penske, several days at 100 plus. We're in Phoenix. I've declared the pool season open. Yeah, no doubt. It's ready down there. Kenworth Rider Bighorn was built 73 to 75. Yeah, I saw that 261 of them were built. So we got a Dodge big truck fan there. Good. The grinder's way more fun. I'd never seen one of those before. I'm 57 and my dad owned a trucking company. All right. Dodge dead on day guarantee expires. All right. I don't know how those worked on the roads. I've never seen one on the road. I've been around trucks my entire life, been driving trucks 39 years. And you remember the Dodge trucks. I don't ever remember seeing one. Nothing that big, like a 650 or whatever. That's about it. Samuel, hey, buddy. Hey, what's happening? It was 108 here in Needles. Yikes. Hope the air's working out there. Sweet Caroline was sung by a truck driver named Neil Diamond Rio. Holy mackerel. Holy mackerel. Somebody had their fill of puns. Yo, dude, you don't know who Neil Diamond is? Don't you ever see E.T.? Yeah, what about E.T.? Everybody's seen E.T. Well, Neil wrote the song, She Was Six, Creepy Joe Biden. Hey, we're not investigating that. I'll tell you that. Cash, the lot lizards are running specials for post-trip infections. Oh, that's pretty awesome. Less than $5 now. You get change now out of your $5. You didn't used to. Cassius King did nothing wrong. Hero like England driver. Dodge's slogan used to be extra care and engineering. Wow. There's like Dodge experts. Solitary soldier. Park, do you think $1,650 a week in salary is good? Yeah, that's if you're getting $1,650 a week salary, yeah, that's not bad at all. Especially now. Although I did see some people are getting paid for not working, which is the point of a guarantee. Have to run. Have a great day. And if you can get a roller wiener, bite one. If not, hunt for one. Keto. All right. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Solitary soldier. Do you think $1,650? Yeah, absolutely. Protectionism style markets and economies are never good. And that's how it was before deregulation in the 80s. A lane only had so many trucks on it, so the rate went way up. And that's not a good way to do stuff. That increases the cost of goods. So, no, that's not free market. I'm not a fan of that. We're in agreement, Mark. Better to take a load at a lower rate than to run empty if you're going in that direction anyway. That's what I'm thinking. Why is it better to let that load sit there than take it, even though it's low? You're going anyway. You're going to go down there empty to prove a point. Somebody else is going to take it. It's not like the load is going to go up. Those old trucks are like TLGP trucks to Mark. Yeah, this truck, I've never seen an old Dodge truck. I just have never seen one on the road. I didn't know they even made those big trucks. And, since there are only a couple of hundred of them, that's probably why I've never seen one on the road. I would probably take the 1100, but I would try to avoid all that deadhead anyway. Lots of other factors. Yeah, that's true. And, of course, you're better off taking a load where you are. Certainly. But what they're saying is if there's a load down there you want to get, aren't you better off taking that and going down there rather than just driving down there empty? Now, certainly you should find a load closer. Absolutely. I get that. But going all the way down there, no way. Empty. You at least get something for going down there. DA, Mark, who do you not work for? Well, England's on that list, certainly. They would never have me. I just got their driver manual today, too. Remember when Chevy made a big truck, the Bison? Yes, they had, because one of the first trucks I drove was a GMC Brigadier. So, which was they also had a Top Kick, I think, was the Chevy version of that one. No, that would have been a GMC also. So many puns, it's like penitentiary. Yes. My father's friend had one that was immaculate and used daily hauling LTL. Really? So that's why you know about them. There were hardly any of those made, and whatever happened to that truck? Yeah, $1,650 in salary is great. Flaw, it's $85,000. Right, I'll take it. Dodge also had cab overs. Oh, I didn't see that. GMC made the Bison. James Faust. Oh, okay, for that. But I had a Brigadier. Was my first driving truck. Last week it was Village People. This week it's Neil Diamond. I can't wait to tune in next week. Well, the Village People, I have a cover band that people know about, right? On the weekends, we have a Village People cover band. We go to the Manhole and play there. But I like Neil Diamond too. Turn on Your Heart Light from E.T. Yes, and I'll be doing that song very soon as a video. Why is the state of Illinois allowing trucking companies to run drivers at 1099? I don't know. I'm always surprised at Illinois. It's one of the worst states for this, where they allow so many company drivers to work as 1099, and a lot of them are in the Chicagoland area, and it gives other good companies in the area a bad name. But whenever anybody sends me something about a company in Chicago or Bensenville or somewhere, I'm like, oh, it's probably 1099. They've tarnished the whole industry. And why do drivers tolerate it, though? You're not allowed to run 1099 in somebody else's truck. You're scamming the government, too, for what seems like a few extra dollars, but it isn't any good. Next week will be some other boomer degenerate. I don't know about that. Hello from the Buckeye. Hey, what's happening? Alexander's waiting for the economy to open up. I would like to go to this salon and get my legs waxed. Yikes. You're too fat to shave yourself. Well, I'll be passing on that, I think. But, yeah, they said they might open up, and you're going to have to do separate chairs in the because I'm waiting for Haircut Corner to open and stuff. Yeah, it's going to be a problem. People are going to... There have been tons of memes of this, of women going in the salons looking like Bigfoot, so I think it's pretty funny. Chevy cab over was the Titan, and GMC was the Jimmy. Okay, and I had a GMC Astro for a while also, so that was pretty good. The best in the day was the Mac F models. Google Dodge cab over. They made them until the mid-'60s. I'd like to see that, right. A Dodge cab over. Neil Diamond song, Forever in Your Jeans. Yeah, from one of the albums, right. Oh, GATS is up in August, by the way. Oh, I forgot to show. The CFI phone holder's got to make another year before we get back down to mats next year. So only one person has got these masks in these rest areas. I was kind of surprised about it. And what do you think about this protest that was in California? Nobody said anything, but I think it's something we're talking about, that drivers are going, and it was on the news there, 10 miles an hour on the interstate. No one's going to come up to a truck expecting them to be going 10 miles an hour, which is what some of the drivers said. Well, people should be watching for us. No, you shouldn't be going 10 miles an hour on the interstate. The very people that you want to get on your side, you're blocking from going anywhere. And in an accident, you kill like a bunch of people in an accident there because you're going slow. That's not going to work out good for anybody, I don't think. They get that on the news, oh my gosh, that's going to be a total disaster. And what are you solving? Most people are out of work. They're going to be very unsympathetic to some driver who says, oh, I'm out of work, when all the news says is drivers are heroes and making everybody, they're making a ton of money. I don't think it was a great plan. It wasn't thought out well, I'll say that. We're $30 trillion in debt. Who's scamming who? Yes, and that's going to get way bigger this year. They're talking about $1,000 to $2,000 a month for 6 months, maybe a year. There's different plans that they're talking about. Michael, do you think armadillo helmets would be good to wear for truck drivers? I think the helmets at the Loves are the helmets that would best go for drivers. Save up your Loves points and go into a Loves and get the helmet that suits you best. Kenneth is here. I appreciate it. Cash King, it's not my goal to break even, but that 98 cents a mile would be around break even, so that would cover fuel and the payment. So that's what I'm thinking. If you're going to go down to LA from Seattle, you're like, well, there's a load down there I need to get, or for whatever reason you have to be there. It seems to me you're better off taking this $1 a mile, this 98 cents a mile, than going down there empty as some kind of protest. Because you are costing yourself hundreds of dollars, and really at this point, for what? Because there's tons of trucks waiting, so there's one load and there's 3 trucks for that load. So you don't take it, and you're like, I'm going to go empty and I'm going to prove a point to them. They don't care. There's another truck right behind you that does take it. So at this time, it doesn't do any good. And at least you paid your expenses to run down there. Then you can get that load that you've been waiting in LA. Maybe it's a really good load and you need to get down there and get it. The Astro looked like a Batmobile semi. Yes, it had great visibility. We'll say that. In and out. People could see everything you're doing in there. Mid-'70s and the Dodge. I would assume it was the same time around that they made this conventional. I'm glad that the protest was broadcasting. What was on the news? It made the news because trucks are going 10 miles an hour on the interstate, and that's not great. They had either a drone or helicopter or something out there, and I thought that was just not a great idea. I didn't like it at all, in fact. This is what Gracie thinks about a protest where you're going 10 miles an hour on the interstate. She's not really impressed. And you shouldn't be either. It was forever in blue jeans, yes. Russ Motor Service in North Lake had a blue Dodge Bighorn day cab. Well, they only made 261, so these people should have kept these things. Employer just informed me no compensation for a 43-hour weather delay I had in Wyoming in March. Sad. Yeah, that's sad. You should be delayed. You should be paid for all your time on the road. That's why I've encouraged hourly pay. I think I haven't heard of a better solution for paying drivers for all their time than hourly. If you're on the clock, you'd get paid for that time. So I think it's a problem. And you got to ask yourself, look, is this a place I want to stay? 1099 Russian mafia. There's a lot of that around Chicago. It's 1099, and I don't know why drivers do it to themselves. You're not solving any kind of problem for yourself. California already doing 55. That's 50 miles an hour, and then the four-wheelers. Most freeways have a 40-mile-an-hour minimum. I know. Right. And look, at 10, somebody hits you. Oh, my. You're totally. And what are you going to say? Was that a protest? No. The people that you're slowing down are not the people that can do anything for you. And ironically, there's hardly any people going to work there, so you're not even slowing that many people down. Alexandra, eventually the U.S. is going to have to pay off debt. The taxpayers are getting housed. Oh, they'll just print more money to pay it off. If we just print more money and it pays the debt off, right? Dodge, a division of Chrysler, not only make cars and trucks, but also had an industrial marine defense division that produced many products. Well, it's Dodge Day. People think trucking is going to slow down. What do you think? I run LTL. I think it's going to get really slow and then pick back up as everybody gets back out. It'll get back to normal, but it's going to take a long time. DAT is saying they don't expect rates and stuff to get back to normal until mid-2021. So there you go on that. They don't even know you're proving a point, scared of Bigfoot. Right. They don't even realize that you've left in protest in a big huff. Well, I'll show them. I guess you could write them an email. By the way, I'm showing you by not taking this load, and they can just delete that. It didn't do any good. Daniel, do your 8-track smell of Brute or Old Spice? By the way, I have Old Spice cologne here that I wear every day, just so you know. Is Gracie ever impressed? I'm smelling good. Is she ever impressed? No. Only when you feed her. She is impressed by that. Brute by Fabergé. Oh, right. I've had that stuff. That's Brute 33. Yeah, that's good stuff. And I've had a couple of Brute soaps and stuff. Yeah, not every truck takes cheap freight. Brokers have reposted the same freight for a week. Food shortages are reported. Where's there a food shortage? Company driver and owner-operator should never work for free. I agree. You shouldn't. You shouldn't ever work for free. I totally agree. Company drivers shouldn't work for free. Owner-operators make a choice when they're running a business. Where is there a food shortage? I was at Meijer yesterday. No problem getting food out of there. Basically, they're completely restocked now. I would say toilet paper is 90%. Everything else is 100%. There's food everywhere. So at least here where I am, there's no problem getting food. And I can't get a delivery time. That's the problem. But there's no problem going to get food for yourself. And owner-operators working for free, well, if you bobtailed, or if you deadheaded from Seattle to Los Angeles, that seems like a worse program than if you at least took a load that covered your expenses to get down there for that next load that you want. At least all those expenses on the way are covered. Otherwise, that next load's not such a great load either. Because I had many people write to me and say, well, I'll sit 3 days to make another $1 a mile. Well, but every day you're not making any money for yourself. Costs, there's daily costs, right? That truck costs so much a month, that's so much a day. You have an income you'd like to make. You made nothing. And people said, for what? Do you think the broker cares? Oh, well, they really got me on this one. No. There'll be another, England or somebody will come in there and say, well, you know what? 98 cents, we can do that. We can make 2 cents on that load. Because they can space it out. I can't imagine having to call my insurance company to tell them I caused a huge crash because I was going 10 miles an hour on the freeway as a protest. Yeah, Casher Scheme, what do you think they would think about that? They wouldn't be too happy about it. And if once that got on the news, which it would get on the news, any chance of anybody being on a driver's side is gone. That is not the way to protest. It isn't. And rates are low, but I know some owner-operators, like some here on this channel even, are making money. It's still possible to make money. It is. You just have to be more circumspect about it. Every time I'm in LA doing 5 to 10 miles because of traffic, wouldn't do it on purpose. Redneck trucker. Yeah, this was like in an open stretch, and then they show this line of trucks going 10. It's just ridiculous. They should have all been pulled over. Oh, high karate. You could smell 3 miles away. That was some good stuff too, right? Oh, that's the kind of good stuff you get in the bathroom. I have to find the article. Went through Wyoming and realized how much of a dumpster fire my, where did I go off to? Right. My truck is average 50 miles an hour through the state. Wow. Don't need a drone. Just get the camera out and walk with the truck. Just leave it in gear and walk next to it. DoorDash has saved your butt in a lot of places. Can't believe Iron Skillet and Country Pie closed completely. Yeah, and they laid a bunch of people off. Don't even do carry out. Most places, at least here in the East Coast. They said that they were making so little money that it didn't make any sense. So ironically, they closed and just laid everybody off. And some of the people that worked in there are happy because they're making more on unemployment than they made working. Oh, Samuel, this is a good one. Truck stops are price gouging, charging $9 for a mac and cheese at 3 at Walmart. Oh, no, they're not. Free market. Oh, the free market just kills me. They can charge whatever they want for it, and then it's just like the loads, it's just like everything else. They're not price gouging. You can pay it or not pay it. That's the thing. Walmart could charge $3 or $30 also. Oh, there's no price gouging in America to me. People are allowed to charge anything they want for a product or service, and you can pay it or not pay it. So there's never price gouging on anything in the United States. Now, you can't say it's a free market, it's freedom, and then there's also price gouging. Because price gouging indicates like there's some governmental limit on how much you can charge for something. Believe me, nobody wants that. You want a limit on how much you can get per mile or how much a company driver can make? I doubt it. So if we want to be free, there can't be price gouging in the U.S. The only way a strike or protest will ever work is to just shut the trucks down, end of story. That won't ever happen because a lot of company drivers are on guarantee or being paid or whatever. So it's going to be owner-operators, which is 9% of the drivers as far as I can find. And that's not enough to do anything. And every place has a different problem. So some places you need more pay, some places you need detention. That I don't think it's a good plan. People can do their own strike or protest by not working at a place that doesn't pay anything. Western Express only gets away with 27 cents a mile on the West Coast because people accept it. Nobody should take that kind of money today. How about this idea that take these cheap loads and then hold them hostage until you get money you want? No, Kenneth Snyder, because here's why. You agreed to take the load at that price, so then your obligation is to do the job that you said you would do by taking the load at that money. And really, you can't hold that load hostage. It's not your load to hold. That wouldn't be right, but no. No, I don't agree with that, because if you take a load off a board at 90 cents or whatever it is, then you have to go deliver the load because you agreed to the money. Nope. So I'm out. It's free. It's free market. The load pays 98 cents because they can get people to do it for 98 cents. So I'm all for freedom. People don't like that part of freedom. They only like the good part of it. Been delivering office products for 9 months. Went from 14 to 19 pallets a day to 5 to 10. And there's no hand sanitizer. Schools are closed. Government buildings closed. It's getting tough. Yeah, because with people not at offices, they don't need extra office furniture. People thought this would just go away, but this is going to creep through the whole trucking industry. No cheap freight is worth the risk. You can get stuck with a cheap load and not get detention. Well, Weston, that would be the thing I would say in the contract. You should negotiate everything up front, but whatever you agree to, that's what you agree to. If the agreement is no detention, then no detention. You can say, I want detention on this load, and the broker or whoever goes, there's no detention on it. So then you decide, do I take this load or not? It depends. Maybe it's worth it, maybe it isn't. Why isn't that the right solution? Your owner-operators are business owners, so they negotiate with the broker for work. I'll do this work, but I also want this pay, and then broker can say yes or no to that, and then you get to decide whether you'll do it. But once you take the load for a certain price, no way, you got to deliver it. Holding it hostage for what? You agreed to do it. So I'm not a fan of that. High karate, oh yeah, that's some good stuff, right? Put that 50 cents in that bathroom thing. Running empty to prove a point, it's just as stupid as breaking someone's seal to teach them a lesson. I agree. Don't mess with other people's trucks. There's no point in that. James Fawcett at the Hammer was drooling over those trucks running 10 miles an hour. Oh yeah, he probably had people out there filming that. He goes, oh, we're going to get something out of this. He goes, I'll make some money off this protest. Cash is king trucking. Yeah, we're clearly not in a free market and haven't been for a long time. I agree with that. The market is depressed artificially by the government. I agree with you on that, certainly. How can you earn more on unemployment than you earn normally? Wild Bill, easily. Example, somebody at the Petra, which we were talking about. So they're, the cook. And they lay him off, and he probably makes, he makes $400 a week, $10 an hour. So he goes home and qualifies for $200 of unemployment plus a $600 bonus from the government for everybody on unemployment. Now he's making $800 a week until July 31st because of the $600 extra on unemployment. Even if he makes $1 of unemployment qualifies for, he still gets the $600 extra through July 31st as an unemployment stimulus. That's an extra amount for everybody that's on unemployment. So people can make more on unemployment than they make working. Price gouging requires a monopoly. Right. You can get your mac and cheese at Walmart, so they're not gouging you. They're providing a convenient service, so you can just walk in and get it. I don't know why. That's never a problem for me. If somebody makes something easier for you, and so should be worth money. It should be worth money to. I don't know why people don't want to pay for services that are rendered. You got the freedom to overpay or starve to death, Michael Muller. That's true. You could starve to death or overpay. If they charge too much, don't buy it. If they don't pay enough, don't haul it. That is correct. That's correct. That's totally the solution. If everybody did that, then it doesn't work. But they get $9 for macaroni and cheese because people will pay $9 for macaroni and cheese. I thought Schneider cents per mile was bad, but Western is about the lowest I've ever seen. Their Western Regional 11 state, last I looked, was 27 cents a mile. 27 cents. And I don't encourage anybody to do it. The only people I send there are people like we had earlier that either have a criminal record or a recent drug conviction and they have nowhere else to go. Western will put them on, and so then they know you can't really leave. So you're going to have to tolerate that for a year. Or maybe longer to get this felony or whatever farther back. Government needs to change the labor laws from way back. It goes a long way, doesn't it? But the labor laws, that would only affect employees, right? Owner-operators, not an employer, run their own business. So they still make their own deals. Cashier's gig, 27 cents a mile is crazy. That's what your starting pay was in 2006. I know. It's hard to remember back. Oh, when was it getting 27 cents? You got to go back in the way back machine. I had to go into a phone booth with a couple of dudes and go back into the past to figure out when I was making that much money. Crazy. And that's what they're paying today. And they think like they're doing you a favor, which to some people they kind of are, depending on your record. Even if the load only covers part of your expenses, it's still better than getting paid for none of it. You're losing more money deadheading. That's what I'm thinking. But as people wrote to me, what do you know? You aren't an owner-operator. Well, Bill Nye's not a scientist, but people call him the science guy. So there you go. You speak the holy words. I think that would be a bit of a stretch, certainly. Driver pay has been pretty stagnant for 25 years from what I've read, and the drivers you've talked to, it's not going up where it should be. I've always thought over-the-road drivers should get 100 because you leave your whole life behind. But they don't. Drivers don't get 100 because drivers will do it for 27 cents at Western Express. Michael Swift, let me be clear, holding a load hostage will not end well for you. I didn't think it was a great idea. I thought this is a bad idea. But just on the morality part of it, you have a contract that you agree to. You agree to it. Take it. Your option is to not take the load. If you're doing it for free, stop it. Yes, holding a load is a cross between extortion and theft, not a good combination. Right. It's not. You agreed to it. You agreed to whatever the rate is. You have to take it. If you don't want to do it at that price, don't take the load. Even the broker doesn't even own the load. So if enough drivers do what I just said, the brokers will take notice. I don't think so. I think they're going to call somebody on that one. And why don't you just not take the load? If a 98-cent load actually sat there and nobody took it, the shipper would be like, we need to get this load moved. And the broker would be like, well, I can't get it moved. So they would have to raise the price on it. But because, look, maybe England or some large company, Swift, can take that load and make a penny on that load. They're making money. Maybe after expense, they make a penny. That's fine. They get their truck somewhere else. The load moves. Or they fund the load. So they lose 10 cents a mile. They've just funded out of their money and get the truck to where it needs to do. I always thought the groceries on the shelves at the TA were for display only. Right. Yeah. Well, I saw some Jolt there. And I'm like, I wonder what the expiration date on this stuff is. So I think I'd look at the dates before I went grocery shopping there. They will just find other drivers. And if every driver does anything the same time, I'll eat your own poop. Okay. I don't recommend that either. What is a phone booth? Oh, well, they still have those in Chicago. Remember, you go into a phone booth, open the door, and those two other dudes, with the hair or whatever, they take you into a different time. Remember that? When I was growing up in the 70s, there was no hand sanitizer. Mom gave me a bar of lava. Oh, we had lava because my stepfather worked at the mills. We lived in Lansing, and my stepfather worked at the steel mills. He worked at J&L Steel up there, which turned into a different one. But anyhow, he worked at J&L, and he would have lava in there all the time. It's like just rocks that are attached with clay to each other. Isn't Sir England 14 cents to start? But I think that's split, though. So it's really 28 cents. We can give them a penny over because of its teaming part. Lava was more popular in the 70s, yes. Jeanette, lively chat today. Thanks, Mark. Well, look, it's you all that are chatting. Thank you all for being here today in the chat. So let's see. I'm showing 190 there today. So is there people complaints about it on the net? What net? There's a net? You mean like the internet? People are complaining on the internet? About what? The rates? You guys said lava. Were you rich? Yeah. Well, I mean, we did okay. He did good working at the steel mills. We got a new car every couple of years and stuff. Yeah. A Mercury Grand Marquis wagon. We would get every couple of years. Nice car. Give us a little taste of that Neil Diamond karaoke. Oh, Cash is King. If only I'd have to get ready for that. You have to like get ready for it. Jim Palmer offers 12 cents a mile about 2 years ago. Thought it was a joke, but he was serious. Oh, nice. They go, no, we're totally serious. Did you ask him if it was a joke? That'd be a great question. They go, do I look like I'm laughing to you? Do I look funny to you? Alexandra, if the government would butt out of the economy, our economy would be more robust. Oh, yes, absolutely. People accept the price of what they buy. If they don't like to shop at Walmart, they can go to Kroger. I agree. I don't ever shop at Walmart. Okay. I go to Meijer here in town. Kroger sometimes, which is Payless in Lafayette. I don't go to Walmart. I don't. I've said that many times. I don't go there. I just don't. I go to Meijer. But yeah, whatever price people pay is the price that it can sell for. I don't mind a store selling a product at whatever price they sell it for. That's their choice. And then I can decide to buy it or not. I go, that's too much. I don't want to do it. When you hold freight hostage, you're punishing the customer, not cool. Sounds like Russian strong-arm tactics. That's not going to be great. If you called him and said, now I want more money or I'm not going to deliver this freight, I think that's a call to the police or something. That wouldn't be great. Gear Chair, my dad had lava soap on the sink on our truck shop growing up. Yeah, look, it works. If you've never used lava, I think they still have it. Go get yourself a bar of lava soap and be ready. It works because it just takes your skin off. So underneath there's clean skin. Mom put a string through the lava bar, hung it on the faucet. We were told to wash before entering the screen door. That's a pretty good idea. Mom would just hose me off with a hose outside. Upper middle class, your dad worked 3 jobs. All right. That's good too. The lot lizards are suffering. That's the thing. Why aren't we supporting these people? They need jobs too. And I don't know if they could file for unemployment or not. Superman used to change clothes in a phone booth. There's plenty of room in there. Sounds like your mom wipe your feet. Don't touch anything until you wash your hands. Yes, of course. Coming in, you had to do all that. We had a bathroom downstairs, and so you'd have to go in there and wash up. Lot lizards are always suffering. If you think about it, hey, well, this is another freedom thing that I think is okay. Enough of Neil Diamond, a little bit of voodoo chili. I don't know what that might be. I think if you are into Neil Diamond, you may not know what that is. Support your local lot lizard, your local single mom. Everybody's got to make a living. I've always said that 2 adults who make a contract with each other, the government has no authority to step in and decide that the contract isn't right. Just like a driver and a broker. 98 cents, you take it, no problem. I got no problem with that. Or you leave it, and that's okay too. Our modern day Superman wouldn't fit in a phone booth, even if he could find one. No, because he's been quarantined, and so Superman's been hitting the Oreos too much, and he's not going to get in that phone booth. I don't know if there's any in town here. There is a payphone at the J at the 240. I remember seeing one in there in Indiana on I-65. But it's not a booth, though. What's your take on why this is happening with cheap freight and how will this shake out? Well, it's because there's no loads and there's tons of trucks. And so the rates go down. It isn't cheap. It is market. There's no such thing as cheap freight. It's not don't haul it. There's no such thing. The market dictates that the freight pays what it pays. And so whatever that is at the current time, that's what the freight pays. How will it shake out? The rates will go up. They'll eventually go back up as people come back to work and feel better about what they're doing, get their stimulus, get their wheels and rims rented. They'll have some money left over, and there'll be some money to go buy stuff. Absolutely. The lottery tickets, they'll have to buy all that stuff too. Don't forget about all that. Holding freight hostage is a theft. That's a felony. Kim English, it doesn't seem like that. Of all things, that's the worst thing to do. No, not the 14. No, the 14 cents. So if a merchant charges $5 for a bottle of water during emergency, that's okay, Sammy? Yes, It is absolutely okay because this is America. I can't limit people's money on anything, right? I want to make as much as I can. And so if a merchant, as you said, charges $5, you don't have to buy water. You can have water. I probably have, I don't know how many gallons of water I have here at the house. So you can be set up for yourself. And if you're not, then you pay $5 a bottle. I don't have a problem with that in America. No. How about the 12 cents a mile? That should be a felony. Well, you shouldn't accept the 12 cents a mile. That's the thing. You could say, just say no. Nancy Reagan, that's what she said about trucking. She said, just say no to low pay to company drivers. I remember her saying that. So, yep. Don't wash your junk with lava. You'll suffer. Be careful what you wash with lava. And I do recommend you younger people who may have never seen lava, invest in a bar of lava, which I'm going to say is $4, maybe $5. I'm not sure. And enjoy the brisk exfoliation of a soap that you've never experienced before. Roger Penske, I think Underdog used to change his clothes in a phone booth as well. Oh, that's right. But he was a drug addict. They took him off of TV. Remember that? Isn't he the one that had something in his ring? Al Johnson used to work 3 jobs. That's why I got into trucking. That stuff is not fun. I know. Rather than people think that working more hours, because I get this all the time in comments. Well, let us work more hours to make more money. That's not how you make more money. You should earn more for the hours you already work. That's always been my goal. How do I work less, but continue to make more money? That's how it should work. Otherwise, why don't you work 100 hours a week? Why don't you work 120 hours a week? And then you make more. But are you really making more? No. If you don't have any time for a life, then what's the point of doing all those hours? The lot lizard can file under gig workers. I actually thought about that. I thought, I wonder if they would put down, entertainment or something like that and file under gig worker because, big, huge Mike, there is unemployment now for people, Uber owner-operators, right? All that could file as a gig worker. So, yeah, absolutely. They have to have that PPP thing that's going on now. Michael Swift, take a shower with lava and you're done. You'll be clean. That's true. You will be clean. You'll have to clean out your the drain, though, because your top layer of skin will be down there. Like that guy from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I did ask him if it was a joke, and he said 12 cents a mile was good. Hey, that's good money. Yeah, did you tell him? You should have asked him, did I accidentally call 1963? Shut him down. Yeah, I don't know about that, right? You could shut your own truck down, but the rate is what the rate is. Like I always say, it's 9%. That's the best number I could find on the internet. 9% of drivers are owner-operators. So if every owner-operator stopped, it wouldn't matter because the loads are down 32.5%. So the loads there'd still be 23% too many loads. Wouldn't even really affect the rates. It's not going to help. We had the 5-second rule when I was a kid. If your food hit the ground, you could still eat it. How would these kids handle that now? Oh, yeah, I have the anytime you find it rule when I had my own place. So, yeah, no problem. DA, yikes. That's a different kind of economy. Police going to bust up your truck and vaccinate you. I think that at some point the vaccines will be out. I don't know. People don't get the flu vaccine, though, still. Only they said about half the population gets it. Will they force everybody to get this? Maybe. There just was an article this week that said, hey, you can get it again. If you have it once, you could get it again. So then what will be the point of having a vaccine? I'm not sure. I go to Walmart specifically to watch 400-pound women with tattoos in tights. Yeah, in really small tights. That is part of my problem with Walmart is the people there don't care. If they don't care about how they have presented themselves in public, and I started to see this at Meijer too in the last couple of weeks. I commented to the wife about it, that because people are at home, they aren't feeling like they need to put anything on to go out to the store. So they're in pajamas. I saw a couple of pajamas there. I was horrified. Sweats and stuff at Meijer too. And I thought, this place turned into, the West Side Walmart, basically, of the town. So kind of disappointed in that. Canyon Amory's been sitting in Payette, Idaho since Friday waiting for a load. Oh, are you a company driver or an owner operator? There's a teal GP Transco truck pulling off at 168. Yeah, they're going to come over here and to say something to me. Should have voted for Andrew Yang. He must be the maddest guy in the world right now. Every one of his ideas that he was laughed out of the place for, they're doing. He's like, wait a minute. This is my idea. Right now, I'm not running at all. So that tells you, okay, yeah, I mean, and that's fine. If people think like the rates are not where they need to be and you own your own truck, I would encourage you to not work for free. Certainly, you can't work all week and break even. There's no point in doing that. You might as well just go get a job somewhere. I totally agree. Alexander, I used to have lava when I worked making transmission components. Oh, I bet. You made transmission components? That's pretty awesome. Yeah, for that kind of thing. I like that orange soap, that liquid kind of soap that you don't need water for. When I used to work on my own car, I would use that kind of stuff. You're spot on, supply and demand. It's a new concept. Owner-operators don't understand that free market. And I have tons of owner-operators write to me. They're still making great money in the industry. You just have to be very careful and be very good at getting your loads and be at the right place, meaning the right company, or be on the right board and have, there's a lot to it. I'm not an owner-operator, but there's a lot to it. But people are writing to me that there's still money to be made. Brian, hello from Alabama. What's going on down there? You could pass for a Dread Pirate trucker's brother. You just need a mullet. Michael, all right. Yeah, and he's Dread, if you're watching, right, I got the paper for you there. So I haven't seen a video from him in a while. I don't know where he's been off to. Dread Pirate trucker. That's pretty good. And I lost my spot after he made me lose my spot. Which is the best company to train with, a new driver, VIP, commander? Let's see what people say now, because I don't know who exactly is hiring now. That's the thing. Name the 5 lowest paying companies after a driver has 1 year. Western Xpress would be on any of these mega carriers, right? Would be really low, because after you get a year, you can really bump your pay at a lot of other places. So a lot of the mega carriers are really low pay. US Xpress is really low pay too. Are lot lizards job hoppers? Oh, that's a question for the ages. Hell, John's going home. Does FleetNav have a show today? I'm going to try to stay awake. No, they do. FleetNav Systems has a show on Tuesday. At 3 p.m., they go live at 3 p.m. on Tuesday for drivers, show for drivers. And they also have a show on Friday at 3 p.m. for like administrators of Geotab systems. It would be good if you're an administrator. I watched one and, that's like the back end of Geotab. So, but they have the show tomorrow. FleetNav Systems. Lot lizards should file for unemployment. I agree. I don't know what they would write down. The minimum wage needs to be at least $20 an hour for a living wage. Yeah, I'm not even a fan of a minimum wage, honestly. Didn't Underdog use a phone booth? I think so, but I think he also had drugs in his ring, didn't he? Gear Jammer. Jim Palmer can't afford to pay more than 14 cents. He spends all his money on yellow paint. There's FleetNav Systems right there, so they're right here. Hello from Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. Hey, James, what's going on at Bay Ridge? All the pizza places are closed out there. I can't get any of my pizza going on. What's happening at Brooklyn? Hope you're staying safe out there. Everybody else out there's all sick. Except the Hope out there, right? The Navy ship, Mercy or Hope, one of those two that's off the coast out there. 1,000 beds, 70-some people on board last I heard. Nice. They're closing up one in Houston, a mobile Army hospital. They didn't have any patients. So what's with all the stimulus money? I guess 2021 no one's getting a tax return. No, I read about it, and you don't have to pay it back. There's going to be some kind of credit on there for it, so you do not have to pay the money back. I did read about that. Let's check with your tax professional. I thought lot lizards would fall under giggity workers. Oh, nice. I like it. Lava soap is no more abrasive than Go Joe or Wild Cherry. Fast Orange. That's it. It was called Fast Orange. I never heard of these other ones. I think Wild Cherry and those are the ones that the lot lizards use to clean up. Lot lizards can apply for government grants under specialized professions. Don't want to compete with Mark's show on Mondays. Oh, FleetNav. Well, thank you very much for that. That's above and beyond on that one. It's only dirty on one side. I still use the 5-second rule only because of my age. I've added 5 more. Look, if you find it and it's pliable, you can still eat it. If you only reason I can't do that because the wife won't let me. If you raise minimum wage, or you also raise prices for everything because employers will not take the hit. Right. So I don't really even like a minimum wage, really, for people. I mean, a straight libertarian, no. The wage is whatever the wage is. This place is $15 an hour minimum wage. That's crazy. $15 an hour. When I was a kid, you used to get 3 cents an hour. Roger Penske, Lava was first. Lava was the original of these soaps. Company team drivers are making money, and some other people wrote to me from Wiener that they're really encouraging teaming and stopping a lot of solo training and stuff. So I think companies for a little while are going to hang on to teams. Redneck trucker, I'm in Ontario, Oregon, waiting for a load. Lease up here. Oh, all right. Not the right Ontario, but okay, yes. Where did I go off to here? And you think you guys have fixed the problem with Geotab? Let's see, right? Orange soap is Gojo. Gojo, that's the name of it. Then the universal health care, we can wait 6 months for elective surgeries. Well, now you can't get elective surgeries. They're just going to start those up again here in Indiana. The SBA PPP loans start up Monday. I know that everybody's going to get it immediately. Might as well go for those since it's independent contractors are eligible. You should. I think you should. Because this is, I don't normally like this government stuff, but this is the reason everything is like this is because of the government. So I'm not mad at people for going to the government for these kind of bailout kind of things. It's their fault that we're in this situation to start with. Alexandra, I was a 1099 contract welder. I hate factory work. I made transmission components for Hondas. My brother-in-law works at Honda in Marysville, Ohio. He's going back on the 11th. So they're going to be off like 6 weeks. He paints Honda Accords. Do I have to pay extra for forearm hair in my mac and cheese? No, that's standard right there. And that's from the people, a lot of them are at the buffet with a, what is commonly called a wife beater shirt on and have not showered. I just love that. Instead of a spit shield, as it's called, a sneeze guard, it should be a no sleeve guard. Corey, hello from San Antonio, and your friendly tow truck driver. Welcome. How are you doing out there? I always remember San Antonio. You can't really forget it, right? Mr. D, do you think trucking will go back to normal? Oh, yes, absolutely. 330 million people, which are now getting, some of them getting unemployment. They're getting their stimulus. They might get more stimulus. Their jobs will come back. Oh, yeah, they're still going to need everybody. You bet. Samuel, Dread Pirate is in rehab. Is that true? That's really something. Oh, that's too bad if he's in rehab. If I was making more in a warehouse than by operating a truck, I would sell my truck. Yeah, I mean, but see, it's not going to last forever. Maybe you could go work in a warehouse and then put the truck back out when the money comes back, maybe. Because if you're running the truck and at the end of the week you didn't make any money, how's that better than a company driver? At the moment it isn't, so... Michael Swift, oh, I don't know, Dread Pirate. Everybody's got their own take on everything. Underdog kept any energy pills. Yeah, drugs. They labeled him a drug dealer, a drug taker. I hardly ever see lot lizards. Where are they now? Yeah, that's disappointing. You got to get the right channel. You can still make a little money owning a truck, but the owner-operator business model is obsolete. I don't know. There'll always probably be a market for an owner-operator deal, but will it go away eventually? Not in my lifetime, probably. Somewhere has a new Corona sandwich. It has lettuce alone. Oh, nice. James Faust. Yeah, it had one of the early Yellow Jackets. 10-mile-an-hour protest. It doesn't work. Ask Swift. Yeah, what about Prime? They've been protesting at 58 miles an hour for a long time. Wilbon, good afternoon, Trucking Answers fans. And me, hello, what's happening? Fleet Nav, one of your viewers, called into our show last week. I know. He asked that we give gift cards away here. So can we do a giveaway? Launch for someone on Fleet Nav, $25 Visa gift card. I think people are probably all right with that. And I always say 13, so I guess I'll do that here. I have to say, of course, that YouTube has no part in this. This is not YouTube-sponsored giveaway, and there's no purchase necessary, as I'm required to say. The rules are in the description. Must be present to win for the United States only. You have to say all this stuff, believe me, or you get in trouble. So, and when the buzzer goes off, which I'll start here. That's how I do it on this show. And I can't see the time, okay? But it's right here. Hear it clicking. Okay, I'm putting it where I can't see it, so I don't know when it's going to go off. Then put the zip code in the comments, and then when that happens, you email me your address. I'll send it to Fleet Nav, and bingo. You get lunch at Fleet Nav Systems. How about that? Thanks for that, Fleet Nav Systems. All right, there they are right there. Check them out live 3 p.m. tomorrow Eastern, right here on YouTube. On the YouTubes. So, a company driver, there are probably 34 other drivers sitting here. Wow. We get daily pay. Okay, so that's what I was going to say next, right? It's profitable to pay all these guys to idle their trucks all day. No, it isn't. And so eventually that will end. Eventually they'll do something about it. Lay everybody off or do something. Yeah, that back row of the Ontario TA in California is the place to be. There's no I in team. I agree with you there. What's going on with medical cards? Mine's expired on the 4th. Well, at least here in Lafayette, you can still get a physical. So call your company. But all this stuff has been extended to June 30th. So you won't have any problem if you can't get one. See if your company, if you're a company driver, can get you one. Otherwise, call around. You might be able to still get one. But the cards that expired after March 1st are going to be June 30th. George Wilson, that would apply anywhere. If you have 2 years with the clean record, anywhere you're good to go. Yes. Yes, last week, Fleet Nav had a driver call in and talk about PeopleNet versus OnTracks. It was pretty interesting. Many owner and Fleet Nav system is the king of disclaimers. I will say that. Many owner operators do not treat what they do as a business. They think they're owed a lifestyle. I know. This is a lifestyle. It isn't. It's a business. You bought a truck. You started a business. That's the thing that people should really try to understand. You're running a business. And it can lose money. You're not guaranteed any certain amount of freight or rates or anything. You aren't owed a paycheck, so you could lose money. Flip-flop and Croc season is finally here. Yikes. My sister-in-law wears those Crocs. Yikes. Towing is bad down here. No work might make $55 a day. Can you deliver Uber Eats or something with that tow truck during the rest of the time? Because that is super busy. I can't get a delivery time for shipped for my groceries. Growing up, F-bomb bite marks on the lava bar. Wow. All the stimulus is going to come back and bite everybody. We have to pay this back eventually. We need to go back to the precious metal standard. Yeah, that won't ever happen, will it? Eddie Money says we all need Jesus. Right. That's a good policy, Mark. I appreciate it. I believe the hand cleaner called Cherry Bomb and the lot lizard is Wild Black Cherry. And her friend is Brown Sugar. Yeah, Brown Sugar now at 3 p.m. on Tuesdays here. Fleet Nav, you're welcome. Straight Alexander. Our currency has been money since 71. That's true. I have an old $2 bill from the 50s or something. It looks different. Michael Swift and Worlds of Ronald Reagan. I'm from the government. I'm here to help. If you're standing there listening, you need to run. I know. The ticking is loud. Can you still hear it over there? I'm going to have to write to Blue Snowball. All the louders on the internet now, or at least that's what a friend told me. Oh, so maybe there's an app for that. .com, right? There's maybe no I in team, but there is a me in it. That's exactly correct. I'm not teaming for anybody. We want to say thanks to all the guys on the road, especially running these days. Yes, thank you very much. Caleb is late. Holy mackerel. Appreciate you coming in anyway. Prime trucks are set up to be fuel efficient. Top speed is 62 and least 65. Yeah, but you know what? I get in the 8s going 65. Are prime drivers doing better than that? Probably not. Or not much more. For the, 7 miles per hour, I doubt it. And so I'm not a fan of it. I always thought people should be able to go speed limit wherever they are. My dad used to wash his hands and arms in gasoline with Pall Mall Red hanging from his lips. I remember him doing it in the 60s. All right, so in whatever year Jaws came out, 75 or 76, I don't remember. We went to Florida on our summer vacation, and I remember staying at the motel there, which was on the ocean, so in the Gulf. And so when we would come in from the ocean, then there were steps up to like the motels were like a little couple steps up. There was a can of gasoline at the back of each motel. And because there was oil in the water, there had been some kind of spill, they left gasoline out there. And my mom would pour gasoline on me to take the oil off of you, which, petroleum off of you. Crazy that she'd pour gasoline on herself. Oh my gosh. And she smoked too. I don't remember True maybe because it had those triangles in the filters. I always thought those were neat. But she was smoking and pouring gasoline, and everybody did it. Oh, look, there's another mother pouring gasoline on their child. Right. Today, oh my gosh, what would people today think? They'd have to go to a safe space. But yeah, we just pour gasoline. Oh, just pour gasoline. I was probably 7, 8 years old. Right. Unbelievable. You had your mouth washed out with lava twice, Jeanette. Yikes. Does anybody here on this channel watch Smart Trucker? Probably. Smart Trucking? I hope so. Fleet Nav's been working with them. It's a great channel. Great channel. Who's playing at the manhole this week, Mark? Well, we'll be playing our normal Village People set there. I don't remember who else they have there this week. Doesn't the lava soap grind your teeth down? Yeah, but they're clean. The Village People are manning the manhole. There's we don't get a lot of women in there. I don't understand that. Jaws was 75. Okay, yeah, I don't remember what year. So then we were down there in 75. And there was oil in the water. You would come out with oil balls, basically, on you. And they were, the size of a round of a quarter, I guess. And your parents would just pour gasoline all over you. So, well, while she's smoking, of course. And she would be the one that would talk with the cigarette flapping around when she's talking at you. Yeah, absolutely. Nobody thought anything about it. Nobody. Now kids can't even get dirty. Otherwise, they're having a heart attack. Jason heard a lady driver says she sat 7 days for a load. Wow. They would have to pay me every day. You should be getting a day's pay if they're a company driver and an owner operator. I mean, it's got to be cheaper. It's got to be. I don't own a truck. People always, you don't own a truck. Okay. Sitting 7 days, you don't have any money for those 7 days. All your expenses add up every day. It's a daily thing. You need to make so much money. And so day. How is it not better to take a load that at least pays your expenses for that week? Oh my gosh. Stanley is trucking through Winnemucca, Nevada. Hey, how's it going out there? Is the snow finally over out there? I hope so. I watched Smart Trucking, been watching for over a year. Big, huge Mike. Look, they're a great channel, no question about it. Jeanette, was you had balls all over the Gulf beaches? We had t-shirts that said, I got tarballed on Padre Island. Yikes. But did you get gasolined on Padre Island? Irish Spring has a nice taste. You got to cut that slice out of it, though, first. And then pointed all the lines in there with your knife that everybody carries around. I'm in development of an app that connects lot lizards with truckers. Now, there's something that people can use. People always make all this goofy stuff that nobody needs. It's about time somebody came up with something that people need. They've got really good info on Smart Trucking channel. Learned a lot from them. Plus, the stories at the end are kind of funny. Right. Yeah, it's a good channel. And they have like 100,000 subscribers or something. They've been on the air for many, many years. It's pretty good. Okay, so other people, Michael Swift washed with gasoline? Really? Did your mom pour it on you? That's even worse. We all played with real lawn darts. I had jarts. We had a cottage on Bass Lake, Indiana, if anybody's from the northern Indiana area. And we had jarts out there. And these are basically 3-pound arrows that you threw into the air to try and get in a ring on the other side. But we would throw them straight up, of course. How nobody got killed, I'll never know. 70 and sunny today. Just got a load assigned to me, Darnell. Blair, Nebraska to Keys, California, and back to Nebraska. Empty. Wow. If you're a company driver, I'm in. Because most company drivers get the same pay either way. So, yeah, I remember many years ago, I was in LA, City of Industry. And sitting, and no load. And I finally get a load, and they go, okay, go to Oklahoma City and let us know when you're there. I'm like, what are you talking about? I called him. I go, you really want me to go to Oklahoma City? And it's like 1,400 miles or whatever it showed on there. He goes, yep. Just let us know when you get close over there, and we'll see what we can get you. So, but as a company driver, I'm like, okay, see you later. I don't care. Because they're paying me either way. That's their problem to find me a load. So if you're a company driver, I'm in. You're correct. That's when I try to say 24 months, no violations. It's a tough period for a new driver. I know. It's seasoned drivers. It's hard too. Watch the big strapper. Dave on Smart Trucking. I haven't heard much from Dread Pirate. I know he disappeared. He used to do those super informative Saturday night call-in shows. Or not call-in, but live shows for like 6 hours. Anybody that wants to float some names for my app that connects lot lizards to truckers? Oh, that'd be a good one. Right. Let's think of something for that. Alexander used to play backyard football with your friends, and there were a couple times when I hit people so hard they peed on themselves. Kids should get outside more and enjoy nature. Yeah, and then their mom poured gasoline on them. So that's one reason I stay local. I can be home if there's no loads, Jason. That's a very good idea. You can at least go back home rather than sitting somewhere for a week. They would have to pay you every day. Rhino made it back. Oh, good. It's good to have you back. Lettuce King really knows his stuff. What is Lettuce King? Good afternoon. I'm late, but here with my Chipotle burrito. Don, all right. That's pretty good. Oh, it's always time to see what Gracie is doing here. She still doesn't have any toilet paper and doesn't care. She doesn't care what people think about that. In any of her 3 litter boxes for 1 cat. Crazy. We could agree on taking a week off at the same time. Sure. Lizardlovers.com. Oh, that could go a couple ways, right? Me and my friends had BB gun wars. I got it in my brow, and BB was embedded for a while. Did you have the 3-pound? Everybody who's a little older remembers jarts. Certainly those are the 5-pound lawn arrows that you would throw around. Absolutely. Caleb, I'm at a dedicated run. Only thing has happened, they have dropped the load count at each store, so they just make my route longer and longer, more money. So it's actually working out better for you. You make more money. People are either up on the money or down to nothing. But I know a number of owner-operators have written that they're still making money. Seeing a lot of lizards today walking around the truck stop, somebody must really be hard up. Well, yeah, some of the drivers don't have any money. That's the problem. What they should do is integrate it in the CatScale app or something so you can just pay with your ComData card. I'd like to see, Kelly would like to see me and Smart Trucking do team video. Oh, that'd be something. You'd have to get a passport. Keep up the good fight, Randy. Thank you very much. We used to do a lot of things the snowflakes couldn't handle, Preacher. Yeah, exactly. I mean, pouring gasoline on a kid, nobody does that anymore. Hell, John's. Oh, Ho Time. Ho Time app. That's not bad. That's pretty good. I like it. Ho Time. Fleet Nav, I've replaced the wire plug and ELD has worked since. Rhino, all right. Fleet Nav helped out. Safety is a discipline that has to come from some level of DNA. If you don't have it, then you're going to be a problem pupil. Yes. People either seem to get it or it either takes a long time in trucking. I don't know. Any word from Jay Cannell? He disappeared also. Oh, I don't know. Oh, let's see here. So let's count here. We go down to the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right here is 13 on me. Jason Jefferson is 13 for me. On my screen, Sue. Please put your zip code in, and I will write that down, and then email me your address, and Fleet Nav Systems will send you lunch. They will prepare a lunch and send it to you through the mail. Okay, no, they're going to give you a gift card for lunch. So there you go. From Fleet Nav Systems. That scared me. That always scares me, because I can't see what time it is on there, so I don't get to see it. So lease driver and skipped a beat. Loads ranging $1.54 to $1.74. Gregory, I have only pulled one load at $1.15. This is the main reason I went lease. Okay. Are you a lease? I mean, did you lease your truck from the company? Let's ask you that. Lot Walker app. Oh, Lot Walker. That's good. I like Ho Time. Lot lizards have a square reader nowadays. Oh, yeah. I have a square reader. So, yeah. Lot hookup. Yeah, that's too obvious. I forgot I need a PC break. Lot lizard for us, for you. I still like Ho Time. That's my vote is Ho Time. All right, 74804. All right, 7. So anytime, whenever you get a chance, email me your address, and Fleet Nav Systems can get that out to you that way. So, and the address is right there. It should be on the screen as I look there, and it's right there. Okay, thank you very much for that, Fleet Nav Systems. So that's great. We appreciate that. I think the minimum wage is the same as the rates, in that the government can't just mandate a rate for everybody, because the same happens for company drivers that are percentage. Are you seeing, like, sometimes I get TMC drivers, I know they're on percentage. Anybody else on percentage that's a company driver, are you seeing your rates go down? And since you're on percentage, do you get to know, do you ask the company what they made on the load? How about that? Because it's almost the same thing. The heady trucker is not a truck driver. You're a highway transportation specialist. Does that pay better? Lizard liquors? I don't know about that one. I don't know if that's kind of, that's more than the regular $5 charge, I think. We use lawn darts, throwing them in the air and using metal garbage cans. Yes, exactly. Jarts, which they're banned now, which is really something. Corey Hayes, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I learned from a company 2-year lease with $8,000 complete bonus. Wholeable.com. Horrible. I don't know. I'm not afraid. What about Truster? No, I do like Ho Time. I like that. Mobile Self-Isolation Unit 1, Cash is King Trucking. There was a driver who was from Canada, if you saw that this week, and she got really sick here. There was a big article about it. And couldn't get anywhere to be tested, so she ended up going all the way back to her company in Canada and then going home and then being tested and was positive. So that was really something. Nobody knew what to do with her. There's nowhere to get a truck in to give her a test. None of that. There just wasn't any way to do it. Not better pay, but it sounds better. like I have a degree or something. Ha, that's true. Well, Bill used to be a commodity relocation engineer, but they never poured gasoline on you because Lake Michigan never had that problem. Truckbuddies.com, that's probably already taken by somebody who's paying by the minute for that kind of thing. There's people already on that one. Truck tricks. Has anybody tested this on GoDaddy? And you'd have to do it incognito, of course, to see if any of these go. Ooh, Go Hose, right? Hose to Go, something like that. That's pretty good too. I like it. I like all of them. Would be something with the with this. Let's see here. Not sure how that might work. Could integrate that into it. So I have some stocks. Yellow, $1.60. My favorite, Roadrunner, $2.30. They're down 50% in the last 30 days again. Okay, so, and they run a lot of refrigerated freight. So what's up with that? I'm always curious about a place like England that doesn't have any freight, and then Pride, which is almost part of England, they have drivers running. And here's Roadrunner running temp control, and their stock keeps going down. They're almost the only people that are still working. Alexander Trucker Buddy sounds like a gay hookup website for truckers. It could be just a different kind of lot lizard that you get at the truck. That's when that's like when Aldi renamed their cashiers and started calling them store associates. Oh yeah, everybody at all these places is an associate, like you're some kind of family or whatever. Yeah, but I will say Aldi cashiers make pretty good money. Jason sent an address. Okay, thank you very much. Tricking truckers. I don't know about that. A lot of lizards in Lancaster, Texas, right across from Wiener. That's surprising. People there don't have a lot of money. They need to go to these truck stops where everybody is sitting out. So, Roadho, that's good. That's a good one. So far, so good hauling hazmat. Has anybody seen a decrease in their pay, though, that hauls on percentage? Like TMC, a lot of flatbeds do it, but some van and refrigerated do it as well. Anybody on percentage, and how are your rates going? Are they reducing your rate? Is that the Wiener slot machine I sent you? Yes, No, this is a different roller wiener picture. This was a meme that got sent in. Although I do like that slot machine one. I didn't have any way to grab a picture from a video from it. Another option to get started is to get hired on as a laborer with some city or county municipality. Learn how to drive a truck and get your CDL. It makes good money. Yeah, you could always get on like the state or whatever. They are forever needing people here. They run ads all the time. And you may only get a B license, but some of them are A trucks. And hey, most of these guys are home every day. Get state benefits, insurance, pension. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. It's another way to do trucking. There's always some kind of trucking for everybody, depending on what you want to do. Some people write to me and never want to leave their house. And so then there's this other way to do trucking. And some people want to leave their house and never be home. And that might be a different thing that they have to do. US Express is $3.94. So, and I wrote Pam, also got Pam here. At $29.25, I will tell you they're down $6 in the last week at Pam. So, because they commented that a lot of their freight was automotive and they lost a lot of that. So that's a real problem over there. When you have a large part of your business as one industry, you got a problem. I know a lot of people said they'd never drive a truck attempting to get their CDL now. What do you think about that? This is the problem. So now everybody's off and they're going to flood into trucking, which happened during the recession too. And then it just lowers the amount of freight available for everybody for a while because you get all these drivers in and nothing for them to do. Eventually they fall out. Most people fall out eventually. Only a few percentage of the people make it after their first year. I've noticed videos you never talk about Wiener. I bet you work for them. Oh, they got me at Wiener. Wiener. I'm sure you can get a lot lizard on layaway or payment. Oh, you got to lay $5 away? Literally, it's layaway. Is that what you're saying? Miss Taylor Trucking. I know a lot of people who said they wouldn't drive a truck. Right, but they're in the CDL. Right. That's what they're doing. And they'll flood the market with drivers, and there won't be freight for everybody. But people with experience that are in, you got it made if you're already in. Al Johns, no, that sounds like something different. Would rather wash my hands with gasoline than use public water in Michigan. It'd probably be safer. And the gasoline doesn't make you stupid like the water in Michigan does. Can packing houses closing crops being plowed under ergo reefer freight down? Okay. Is anybody moving right now? Like North American that? Are they Red Ball Express? Are they being used now? I don't know about that. All our trucks are staying loaded with fairly decent rates. All flats and beds have been fortunate with loads, blessed with a few real drivers trucking, and it's still good for you. Yeah, so you hire good drivers. They provide good service, and so now those companies know that. And bingo, you keep your trucks rolling, your drivers are happy, everybody's happy. Imagine that. What if all companies followed that same principle? I've always felt long haul should pay six figures. I agree. $100,000 to be gone from your house. You've left your house, your family, everything behind for a week or longer. You should get six figures for that. I don't know what the day will be when that's common. You can get six. You can, but it's not common yet. Got your CDLA from the city when I worked there. Took a single axle dump truck with a 5-speed and a backhoe trailer and got all endorsements from the city. That's a pretty good way to do it. DA, in Seattle city limits, street workers are left alone by law enforcement. City council said if they arrest them, they are more likely to suffer domestic violence. Oh, so their husband asks them, hey, go get a job. All right. Or their partner or whatever, right? You know, it's always female truckers out there. Maybe I should become a lot lizard. Well, they are coming more into the industry, so maybe that'd be a good way to supplement, your pay while you're waiting for a load or whatever. Yeah, that's always a possibility. John, this thing is still going. It is. It is still rolling along because I didn't mention that U.S. Xpress is $3.94. How about that? So I also have that to say, right? So yeah, it still goes. So there. We're going to wash that out with gasoline. I have another truck here. All right, so let me find it here. Okay, so I've never seen one of these either. Okay, now everybody knew the Dodge. Holy mackerel. All right, what about this? Year, make, and model. I've never seen one. Got a picture of it, grabbed it. What about this? This, apparently they made more of these than I thought. There are tons of pictures of them. Who knows what the heck this thing is? It's a special kind of truck for a special kind of driver. That would be good. That'd be good for that. My brother-in-law got laid off from Point Dedicated. Offered him a job, but he told me he needed to drive a 2020 Freightliner. Really? So somebody says, I'll have to have a brand new truck. How about just, I'll take a good truck? Company drivers, you don't get paid for everything you do, quit. I agree, right? That's the only way to get paid. You need to demand that you get paid. And you don't have to be weird about it. You say, look, here's the deal. If I'm going to work somewhere, you're going to have to pay me for my time, period. I don't do any free time. I don't do any of that, There's nothing wrong with saying that to a company. Preacher, I just passed Allied in Spokane and saw a hiring sign out. Huh? I worked for North American Van Lines for 3 days. So I'm an expert in the moving business. But yeah, I got hired Thursday, Friday morning, come in. They have me drive over, and this was early, 22, 23 years old. Drive over to somebody's house, like 15 minutes away. Then we loaded their house into the truck. And they made me do the work too. I wasn't asking the right questions. And this is in the Chicago area. And so then we drove that all the way down to St. Louis. I did. Okay, and slept a couple hours, got up, unloaded the entire house of the truck into their house, then drove all the way back. Got back Sunday morning, and I quit. I hardly drove. It was a lot of work. I kept my T-shirt, though. They gave me a T-shirt. And I don't have it anymore, believe me. But that's my experience at North American Van Lines. Met a Werner driver in the early 2000s, hung out at Williams Pilot, okay? Said she made $500 a night in the parking lot. She had a CDL and keys so she could never get arrested. That's interesting. That's pretty good. I don't know if that's a great plan for your future, but hey, as a free market person, it's okay with me. Alexander, and for any company to succeed, you need to diversify your customer base as much as possible and spread out your investments. Always buy low and sell high. I agree, but then we also have Warren Buffett. What does he say? Put all your eggs in one basket and watch that basket like a hawk. So you have that too. James Foss says international. That's amazing. That is an international. But what is the model of this international with the windows in the front? with windshield wipers by your feet. If you're sitting at a truck stop, you can always do $5 handies. Not a bad deal. Well, hey, there's something for Cash is King to put on the thing there, maybe. Ryan. Early 50s. All right, I will say it's a 59. Mr. Taylor, trucking, do you know of any companies that have been whipped out? None that have been wiped out yet, but some. How about getting set up at home with a command center like Captain Kirk and run an autonomous truck from your den? They're working on that, George Wilson. If you've seen it, they're working on it. They did. I saw a video about a company. They did 3 straight trucks in an enclosed area, but one person at a terminal drove all 3 trucks. They autonomously drove, and then when they needed his help, it popped up, and he actually had a steering wheel and pedals for the truck there. So, yeah, the one person drove 3 trucks from a computer, but not on the road or anything. But they're working on that. Yes, they said that's going to be the next step in autonomy because the trucks will need some kind of intervention, but a driver will be able to go into like a call center type of place, and you'll get a cubicle, and you'll be driving 3 or 4 trucks at a time. But you won't be in the truck, so... Need to go. The wife is calling you to do something. Keep up the good work. Corey, thank you very much for being here. That is ugly. What is it called? We're going to get to that in a minute here. That's a short bus for drivers. I saw one similar in Washington, a coffin sleeper. Guy was working on it. Now, this is a 1959 International, but what kind of International is it? When I would play horseshoes, I would magnetize the post. Kelly, do you think that helped? Pretty close hauling hazmat. You're between 90 and 100. Yeah, that's not bad, but I think drivers should get 100, and then hazmat would pay more because you're required more things. Jeanette, I'm going to start charging $20 for all the guys that stare at you for more than 3 minutes. Wow. I'm going to charge that to the police that stare at me when I'm outside. It's an International. 1964. It's a 59. Oh, there it is. Misty gets a sightliner. It is a sightliner. That's correct. So this truck is a 1959 International sightliner. You can see at the bottom here, I'm moving the pointer here that you can't see, which is pretty useful. But anyway, those little bottom ones have wipers on them, and it was for better visibility. It was made for years, apparently. Yeah, 1959 International sightliner. I'd never even heard of it. Do they take Love's points for $5? They should, right? Maybe you can... Well, I was going to say swipe the card, but I don't know how that would work. But maybe you can add the points up by using the services. I'm not sure. I work at U.S. Xpress. Back when I got started, and my first week paid vacation was $250. If I took more than 4 days off, I had to clean up my truck. A lot of companies do that. To discourage you from using a full week, they'll say, if it's 4 days or whatever, you have to clean out your truck. Then you don't take that many days off. And a week's vacation should pay you a week's pay. They shouldn't get to hose you on the pay because you're on vacation. I'll take an autonomous truck and kick back and watch TV all day. Yeah. I mean, for a while, the guy that was driving the 3 trucks didn't have anything to do. Just every once in a while, they would come in and say, hey, you need to do something. They take Love's points. Good. Yeah, sightliner. People are getting that now, sightliner. That's really something. Maybe it's for street sweeping. You can see the ground while cleaning. I don't know. No, I mean... This one is a single axle, and it's got a fifth wheel on it, and I saw other pictures of it pulling trailers and stuff. It's just for better forward visibility right there in front of you. So, yeah. These International were made in Emeryville, hence the name Emeryville. These are sightliners, right? Saw Sierra's team set up doing knife sharpening and haircuts in the parking lot of the Flying J. Ardmore. They probably make more doing that than driving. They should do that anyway, just in regular times. Were they using the sharp knives to cut hair? Do you know guys who have had their medical cards extended? Yeah, the FMCSA said medical cards that expire March 1st or later are extended to June 30th. So that's what they said so far. There are still places doing them on the road. But your card is extended to June 30th if it expires at March 1st or later. What engine came in that 59? Oh, I don't know what they put in that. Who knows? It's some kind of 250 Cummins or something back then, 200 Cummins. Who knows? George. I saw a guy get out with a box of jewelry and start knocking on doors. Oh, I'm real too, right? Hey, Rodex. What is that? 1959 International Death Trap. Yeah, this is, well, wait a minute, right? Oh, we need to go back to old trucking, the way trucking used to be, right? This is how trucking used to be. This is what we're talking about. This is yesterday's trucking. Is that what we want? I'm not sure about that. We're super late. How's everyone doing? It's GP Transco is here today, and I have my GP Transco card. Thank you for being here today. I know you're probably busy figuring stuff out and all that over there. They're running a big place. I appreciate you coming over here at all. If you want to talk to GP Transco, there you go. So there you go. Thank you for being here, GP Transco. Doing well. I think they were an agricultural, mostly. Maybe this one had a fifth wheel on it. This one had a fifth wheel, and I saw pictures of them pulling trailers. So that would make a good agricultural thing, but you'd get really good visibility of the car in front of you. You wouldn't have to worry about any of that stuff. So a sightliner, interesting idea. In Minnesota, I just saw today past the loft no automated trucks in that state unless it has a licensed CDL holder driving. Good. It's about time that they did that because these companies are just allowing autonomous trucks without any kind of regulation. So trucks are driving around, and they're letting people no license in them and stuff. Yeah. Kelly wants to know if GP Transco allows pets. Remember the sight glass in the passenger door for some guys? It was a trash-o-meter. Yes, Jeanette. They had those until not that long ago, and I agree with you. You'd look in there and think, what is going on in that truck? The thing would just be piled full of bags, fast food, and coffee cups and everything. Yuck. Can you imagine how the rest of the truck was? Yikes. So GP Transco is still saying yes for pets, but they're still sticking with no other exotic animals. Andrew's getting $11.50 for a 5-day vacation. Yeah, that's okay as long as you make $11.50 a week. A week you shouldn't go to $250 like US or whatever because it's costing you to use the benefit. The benefit of the vacation is costing you. That's not great. Prostitution is only illegal because they can't tax it. They should I guess legally you'd have to report that, wouldn't you, as income? Fleet Nav would say GP Transco should come on the live show and call in. Oh, that'd be interesting. Right, GP Transco. We were naming apps for lot lizards. Wonderful. Most likely, Michael Switz says a 190. Oh, yeah, that'd be something. That's probably about true in the 50s. You had low horsepower cruisers. Caleb has seen the maroon GP Transco Freightliner running a 94 up through Wisconsin. Some of their trucks are also owner-operators. So they have owner-operators at GP Transco that have a variety of colors and different kinds of trucks. So they have that as well. Kelly wants to know if you hire out of Portland, Oregon, where the rates are low and people are still mad. The other rate I had was Denver to Chicago, was 97 cents according to DAT. This would be another one, though, if you're going that way anyways. How many days do you sit before you take 97 cents? People say, I'll sit forever. Really? Do you want to sit 10 days? Is that a good plan? Now you have a third of the month of everything due. And then you finally get out of there at $1.20. You really showed them. I mean, that's not a great plan. You'd have to sit where they're like, oh, I'm getting $4 an hour, or a mile. Oh, GP Transco is going to have their people call your people. I love that. GP Transco does not discriminate against cat people. No, they love cats over there. They have on their Instagram, a lot of their drivers, cats are on their picture. Low horse, high torque. Yeah, and a million gears and super slow. Thank you to everyone who watched the aircraft unloading video, 200,000 views. It's amazing. That is an amazing video. If you haven't seen it, it's on YouTube. It's on Facebook. They had 24 trucks come to pick up medical supplies from an airplane that landed at the Rockford airport up there. Gigantic airplane. It's really something how they loaded them. You should go watch it. It's really interesting. It's only a few minutes as well. And it's highly edited and really good quality video. Personally, I wish the cost of living or wages would go back to what they were in the 50s. Purchasing power of the money back then was enormous. I'd take that in a heartbeat. Well, that would be good, but then nobody made any money. So the pay was lower as well. So you had that problem. Truck Hershey pulled in the yard the other day, and a yellow GP Transco truck he pulled out before you. Number was 666. Really? Did they number truck 666? Portland has some of the most gorgeous scenery in the area. We love pets. CEO actually has a dog who will be spending most of the time at the office. We call him a GP Oodle. Oh, yikes. No sucking up at the office. What kind of dog is it? I always want to know that. It had the number 666. That's pretty good. You can't take your rattlesnake. No, they did look into that, and they're not taking any exotic pets, lizards, nothing like that. Domesticated cats and dogs. Okay, they do hire out of Oregon from GP Transco. That's pretty good. So I have a Pam at $29.25, USX $394. USA was $433, by the way. And Roadrunner $230. They're down, half price in a month. How long before they're like, we're done with this whole place? I mean, they're hauling refrigerated freight and the stock keeps going down. There's nothing left to sell. I don't know what they're going to do there. They're certainly on death watch here for me. And they're giving away masks at rest areas. They said they want to give away 800,000 masks, the government does, at rest areas. So many rest areas, you may be able to get a mask from the government for free if you don't have one. I guess people are making them out of t-shirts and stuff now, which there's tons of videos about that if you want to know how to do it. My CFI phone holder is still doing good. I was run with a baby rattler in the sleeper. Well, yikes. We could see the snake in person if it's super chill. Perhaps you could take him. Wow, don't get started on that one, Alexander. I just about had a tanker run you off the road. Had to pull over. Talk about getting blood pressure way up. That's not good. Hey, Mark, what's the fair hourly rate for a Class A driver? Depends where you live. So it depends where you live, but it's certainly the first digit should be a 2 or better to start. And then more depending on where you live. And overtime past 40 for hourly. Saw the Concorde land at Rockford in the 80s. Really? That thing, Daniel, they would land the Concorde at Rockford Airport? It's got a long enough runway to land there? Of course, I don't know. Gary's got like a 2-mile long runway, so I guess it's possible. Fleet Nav, yeah, Smoke a Pop, but you missed it. We gave the gift card away. I've been thinking about working for Trans Am Truck. Okay, John P., let us know how that goes. Company won't let you sit, costs too much to not be moving. I know. Letting people sit for 5 days or whatever for a company, I can't believe a company wouldn't snag $1 a mile just to get the truck moving because it costs the company a ton of money to have you sit there. You must be my age, George Wilson. Remember all those old trucks, even Brockaways and Marmons? Well, Marmons were made into the 90s. I blast baby metal all day. I would blast T.O. all the day. Well, you should be blasting, maybe Barry Manilow, Neil Diamond. Pam just got their papers on lawsuit settlement on driver pay. I think it was $15 million. That's why the stock is down. Oh, so they settled another lawsuit for pay. Okay, somebody's going to have to take some case to court for them. But, okay, that would explain their stock. But they did say that a large part of their business was automotive, especially cross-border automotive, and they lost all that with all the plants closed. As the plants come back to work, they should get that business back. But with basically every plant closed, they're not going to have anything to do. Let's see. GP Transco has a few local drivers, and they're on a daily rate at $250. All right. $12.50 a week, home every day. Despite the low income, Americans still manage to save 10% of their disposable income, better than most. That's not bad. How do Americans do that? Oh, yeah, but with this extra money, are they saving the extra money that they're getting? A lot of people got a raise, so they can still manage to rent rims and save money. That's a good thing about stimulus. Can you bring a Puerto Rican rattlesnake? Yeah, that's part of America. That looks like an Emeryville that was made for at a lumber yard. I saw a bunch of these trucks. I will say that on the internet when I found this truck. Here it is. This Sightliner. And a lot of them were pulling trailers or whatever. It's called a Sightliner because of the extra windows. Really something. You could see, you can really see the car in front of you right there. I never saw one before. Two of the oldest trucks I've ever seen. I've never even heard of. Yeah, 22 to 24 an hour and overtime after 40 hours. Alexander plays a lot of Ammon Amarth. What the heck is that? I get stares whenever I kick the door open when I've got that playing. Yikes. That's on the other side of what I'm playing. The bad boy is trained to attack. I can leave my windows and doors open. Yikes. Got to try one of the Impossible Whopper. I don't know where we're not eating those already. You can have DoorDash deliver them, apparently. I'm figuring out things on Omnitrax. That figure was in the 50s. My bad, should have added that. Yeah, that truck was a 1959 International. I've seen some pretty good-sized planes land at Rockford. I didn't know they could land a Concorde there. People didn't like it in large cities, if you've never seen a Concorde, because it was pretty loud taking off. So last week was the wildest week. 3,200 miles just moving empty trailers. That's awesome. Those are great miles. And as a company driver, would never mind about that. A couple of weeks ago, I backhauled out of Billings from Arlington, Oregon, almost 900 miles. Wow. Empty. That's these companies aren't going to be able to do that forever. They'd be better off, it seems like to me, they'd be better off taking even a lower paying load to at least get some money over there. What does Trans Am pay a driver with, let's say, 2 years experience? That's a good question. Smoking Papa's going to try one too. You need to. Anytime I blast the death metal at the truck stops, you'd get the strangest looks. It's okay. Ammon is a Swedish death metal band. That's got to really be something. I wonder if they know ABBA. They take a lot of cargo aircraft there. Amazon ships a lot of stuff through there. UPS as well. Oh, out of Rockford? Must have a huge runway then. Well, it must have, because the plane that landed there was gigantic. So Denver outbound 45,000-pound beer loads. Oh, people still got to have beer, no matter what. They're stuck in their houses. Beer sales, no problem, and it's been declared essential here in Indiana. So liquor stores and stuff get to stay open. I like baby metal because it's J-pop and metal, psychedelic. Wow, like house music. Sometimes I'll crank up the house music. Been seeing more old school cabovers operating. Must be the trend. Maybe guys are just busting those things out, saying, look, I can at least make money with this truck. It was awesome. The day we picked up all the medical freight, our CEO flew in at GP Transco, walked to the runway and thanked the drivers in person. That's pretty good. I mean, that is amazing to be able to get 24 trucks to show up at the same time at the same place. That's really good. Fleet Nav hasn't, if the try one haven't been there, you need to go. There's one by you. The Heady Trucker is taken off. Thanks for the show. I appreciate you being here and seeing our Sightliner. I mean, holy mackerel. Finally found one that James Faust has never driven, I think. We're not going to go to ABBA. I think, look, that band could maybe open for ABBA. That's what I'm saying about that band. Maybe they could open for ABBA, possibly. Not sure. Never heard of it. The death metal, not my thing, of course. So I want to go over to California protest because I have to get headed out of here. What do we think about going 10 miles an hour on the road? Let's see here. And brokers. What about brokers? I've heard tons of talk this week that the loads are down because brokers are taking all the money. But the load is whatever it pays. That's what I always say to owner-operators. So if the load pays $1, it pays $1. It doesn't matter if there's 40 people ahead of it. To you, it's paying $1. Is that enough money for you? If not, then not. You don't get to go to the government and say, look, we have to have a certain amount of money to stay in business. You're only 9% of the trucking. So even if every owner-operator went out of business tomorrow, trucking would still be down. The rates would still be down. That's the thing. That's why these talk of strikes and protests now, I don't think that's going to help at all. Because they're not a large enough part in it right now. There's not enough freight. If there was tons of freight like there used to be just a few weeks ago, that was the time to do it. But nobody want to leave then. They're making a lot of money. Oh, we're not quitting now. We're making $4 a mile. That's the time when you protest. Once they need you. Once they don't need you, you can't go out and protest. You'll be like, okay, go protest. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at that time. Once you go protest when freight, according to DAT, what did they say here? 32.5% less freight. So if you took 9% of the capacity out of the market, it wouldn't make any difference to the rates, really. It would only slightly increase rates. Company drivers, do you enjoy sleeping at the truck stop for free? I'm home every night and off Sunday and still make $64,000. Some people do like it. I mean, there's driving for everybody. I did it for 20 years, really. So, yeah, it just depends on what you want to do with your life. If you want to be home, there's that. If you want to be gone, there's that. Every owner operator on YouTube has parked their truck because of low rates. Okay, I mean, that's fair. If they want to park their truck for low rates, that's fine. But they don't get to say the rate has to be more and I want the government to regulate the rate. That's not how it works. They can park their truck because they can't make money. I get it. They'd be better off being a company driver. But to say, well, we need to strike because the government is not holding our rates up now. That's not how it works. Michael Swift going 10 miles an hour is insane. Yes, they should have been arrested. Drivers should take their health more seriously. People should stay healthy if they can. Value is what someone is willing to pay. Yes, I always say there's a cost to thing and a value to things. So buying the cheapest thing usually costs you more. You didn't get any value out of it. Don't try to just save money by buying the cheapest of whatever it is. Fleet Nav, we have to head out of here. Stay safe. Hope you all tune into the live stream. Yeah, we're going to talk about ABBA. That's awesome. They're going to talk about ABBA and Impossible Whoppers. We'll see at 3 p.m. tomorrow. And I'm trying to find the thing over here. And there it is, right. So 3 p.m. Eastern live right here on YouTube tomorrow. And don't forget about Jay. He'll be live at 8 p.m. tomorrow, Central, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Go see Jay also for car shipping and auto hauling, that end of trucking, because that's got to be a disaster. Huh. Looking forward to see Michael Swift then, right, and everybody else, and we'll see them tomorrow at 3 p.m. See the whole pie, your piece looks smaller. I just enjoy my piece. I know people think there's only a limited number of pieces, though, but that isn't true. No matter how many people come up to the pie, there's more pieces for everybody. And so just because somebody else gets a piece of the pie doesn't mean you can't have a piece of the pie as well. Remember from the Jeffersons? Oh my gosh, they sang about it. So Michael Swift, this is a good show. Well, thank you very much. I mean, try to keep the as we help Cash is King Trucking out. I mean, we're helping each other out here. And I really did want to too. I also put that on here. If you're at a place that is hiring, that would really help people out, because we would help other drivers get a job. There's also people looking, and right now, not everybody's hiring. So Cash is King, you have a list of good brokers and bad brokers. You play games with the bad ones to waste their time and work with the good ones, because that's how you make money. Exactly, and you're doing good there. And it would seem to me that owner-operators do this, that once a broker hoses you or something, you wouldn't use them again, or you'd somehow write it down. It seems like, to me, because you know that, oh, this broker is good and then this one isn't. I don't know why that kind of thing doesn't work itself out in the industry. Alexandra, Ammon has played Death Fest and Summerfest, among others. Death Fest? There's a place called Death Fest? Saw them in Chicago. They've been around since 98. All right. Al John, sorry for sculling the usual family-friendly show, but really it's Cash is King Trucking fault. We're just trying to help another driver, make it through this world, and that's okay. That's okay with me and him, because the name's got to be something. He has a lot of good ideas. Cheesecake is amazing, especially at the Cheesecake Factory. But Gracie, this is what she thinks about cheesecake. Not much. And let me click that. Okay, I missed my click on that. But going 10 miles an hour, no matter what you think about the rates, no matter what you think about anything, is not a solution. If somebody were to run in the back of one of those trucks, in my opinion, as not a lawyer, I think you'd be liable, and you should be. I'd sue you, certainly. That would be on the news, and all you're doing is holding up people that have nothing to do with your rates. Nothing. Go drive around the Capitol or something. If you want the rates, the government to set your rates, go aggravate them. Aggravating the general public by holding them up, that's not going to solve anybody's problem. Okay, you're mad. All right, the rates are down. They're going to come back up. They will, but may have to stick with this 98 cents. But I'm seeing owner-operators still making regular money. How can that be? Well, some of them develop relationships. Some of them just maybe know what they're doing better than others. That's possible. When everybody needs you, you don't have to be great at business to make money. But now that freight is a little bit light, maybe you have to be a little bit better, and you're like, oh, I thought this was a lifestyle. No, it's a business. Michael Swift is taking off. Thank you for being here. That is a perfect name. I agree with you. I think that worked out. That is the best one that we came up with, certainly. Even Gracie, although she's not impressed by it much, she did like it some. So at 3:25, if people don't have too much else going on, I'm going to have to head out and take care of my company. The phone holder is still doing good. And don't forget, if you have it, let me click that, right? Make it a parrot if you wear it. Make it a parrot always. Right? Always check out GP Transco. I have to do that. Don't forget about Jay. I don't mention him enough. It's a good show over there. And Fleet Nav Systems, thank you for being here today and for giving out lunch to a driver. We appreciate that. They do a live show on Tuesdays at 3 p.m. I'll put that on their card eventually if I ever remember to do it. Even Gracie can't believe it. She said, free lunch. Where's that going on? Yikes. Free lunch. She'll be getting her free lunch soon, that's for sure. GP Transco, thoughts about owner-operators posting about stop accepting low rates? I don't like it. I mean, an owner-operator, yeah, they have to decide their business. So if they don't want to take these 98-cent loads like we have Seattle to Los Angeles, they shouldn't take it. But the government, it's not the government's problem to make the rates go up. They're just not. An owner-operator is running a business. If their business doesn't support whatever the pay is going to be, then they shouldn't do it. You don't run a business for a negative. That's not a great way to run a business. But getting together, whatever, no. Now it's not going to do any good now. Been using brokers for years, build a good relationship. That's why some do better. Once you get a relationship with ones that do good, you will continue to do good even now. Dave Johnson's getting ready for work. Be safe. That Sightliner was featured on Batman with the Joker sitting in the cab and Batman and Robin. Really? That's really good. Al Johns, be safe. We appreciate that. And let's see, first today was, Wild Bill was first Friday, but today Rhino was first, so I'll say that. So I appreciate everybody coming in for the show, because if without the show, it isn't a show. It's just me talking to myself and the cats. I appreciate everybody being here. Trucker Hershey was here today. Thank you for that. Let's see, Alan B. came in today. Smokin' Papa came in. He's live on the call-in show for Fleet Nav Systems, too. That was a lot of fun. Alexandra, thanks for being here today. Daniel was here. Saw the Concord. I appreciate that. Preacher was here. Gear Jammer, thanks for coming in. Wow, Bill was here. Trucker Hershey. Let's see. GP Transco, thanks for coming in. The Heady Trucker, I appreciate you being here. Rumpelstiltskin. And I'm going back here to Andrew Russell. James Faust, thanks for being here. Jeanette, thank you for coming in. Kelly Patterson, I appreciate you being here. Everybody coming in. Imperial Sync. And Misty, thank you for being here. But I have to go make my company some money. Cash is King Trucking. I think we've got a name, the proper name for you, certainly. And don't forget to join OIDA, by the way. They're giving a $10 discount through the end of April. So you can give them a call. It's just put Matt's in, tell them Matt's, and they'll give you the discount through April. And I want to thank everybody for being here. I'm live every Monday. And we'll be here with more news and information that you can use, certainly. But headed out to make the company some money. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you on the next Trucking Answers.